A man who knows a thing or two about building a great cabinet. Adam Carolla.
Yeah, get it on. Got to get on. Get it on. Mayhem Miller's in studio. We got some news. Jim O'Hare, great actor from Parks and Rec, and he was also in my movie Rode Hard as well. Played a club owner. Great guy. Had fun acting with him. All right, we got news. I got stuff to complain about first, and then we talk a little UFC and whatnot. Life. Okay, listen to me. I always know what's happening before it happens because I get feelings about stuff, you know, and as I've said, whenever I bring something up for the third time, that's always your opportunity to stop and go, So nothing really works right anymore. I as I told you guys, I couldn't vote 2 weeks ago, but I talked to my assistant and Joe like 11 times about, I just go to the Malibu polling. I just walk in and I vote. Just walk in, you vote. Okay. Smash cut to me sitting there and them going, we don't have you on the computer, so you can't vote. So that's how it goes. So, but I must have asked 4 times. I was like, I'm just going to walk in there and vote. You're just walking in and voting. I mean, Joe was sitting in the room like 4 times. I just walk. I didn't live in Malibu last election, but now I live in Malibu. And I just go walk in and vote. Okay, never happened. Never. It was just an hour of me sitting in there with supervisors. So Joe may have been in the room when more recently I signed up at the Equinox gym in Glendale. And I said to Assistant Kyle, I'm just going to walk in there Saturday and give them my name. Yes. And that's it. And they'll have me signed up and filed. Yes. I'm just going to walk in Saturday. Saturday I'm doing a show in Big Bear.
Yeah.
My plan is I'm going to come here. I'm going to pick up some merch. I don't know what happened to our merch agreement, Byron, but I feel like it keeps falling through the cracks, where I do the shows and then you do the merch bag. But is that falling through the cracks? Because we couldn't seem to get on the same page. But I had a show in Big Bear. You got a merch policy, Byron, that's different than mine, or we have the same policy?
I believe it's the same, yes.
Which is when I do shows, I take merch?
Most of the time.
Right. And then you're kind of in charge of the merch?
Yes.
Okay. But that counts for shows like local shows, too, not just getting on an airplane shows.
All
right. Anyway.
That's a man.
All right. I tell people all the time, make notes or put a sign up or, use Post-its. So I came here to pick up the merch, some books.
The sack.
Yeah. Now, the thing about the merch, it's not about the money. It's about, I got 8,000 books back there, and I'm just trying to get rid of them Johnny Appleseed style across the country, like 8 books at a time.
Yeah.
And then you end up, you get a little wham, a little walking around money.
Yeah.
You get $140 in cash, and it's good for the valet. It's good. There's still a little cash.
Jingle in the jeans.
Yeah. So that's what I came over here. I'm going to go from Malibu to here. I'm going to pick up the merch, and then I'm going to go hit the Equinox, and then I'm going to Big Bear, and I'm doing a show.
Now you perked my ear. Equinox, we talking circuit training. We talking a little bit of a lift. We're talking some cardio.
I'll tell you what I ended up doing once I made it in. Took a while to get in. I ended up walking up the stairs, and I saw a sign that said a hot yoga class for 1 hour is starting in 10 minutes. And I'm like, I'm doing the hot yoga class, and then I'm going to Big Bear to do a show. Now, the Equinox, it's a perk you get for a certain credit card. I won't get into it, but I'm signed up for a year. And so I came walking in, and there's the merch bag. I came walking in. And I said to my assistant, Kyle, like 3 times, I'm just going to walk in there on Saturday. I'm going to give them my name, and they're going to go, okay, Mr. Carolla, yep, you're all signed up. Go ahead and use the gym.
I heard this conversation a couple weeks ago.
Yes. Again, I just kept saying, I'm just walking in. Yep, okay. So I come walking in, and there's a youngish doofus chick behind the counter and a youngish doofus dude behind the counter.
Standard.
And I go, hi, my name's Adam Carolla. And she goes, what's the name? I go, Carolla. She goes, all right. Just typing that in. She goes, well, we got more than one Carolla. I said, you do? Yeah, what email did you sign up under, and what phone number did you sign up under? I go, I don't know because my assistant did it. I don't know if he gave you his phone number, but you can't just type my name in and they'll be in the computer and I'm signed up. She goes, yeah, Carolla. I go, yeah, Carolla. She goes, yeah. Well, we got quite a few Carollas in the computer.
Really?
I go, really? She goes, yeah, but I go, there's Carolla. There's a bunch of them? She goes, yeah, but we're a nationwide club. I go, geez, I've never met anybody with the last name Carolla.
Yeah. Well, for the listeners too, Equinox is like a hoity-toity type gym. It's type, high end.
Yes.
Like you sweat, but you're clean.
Yeah. So I go, so there's a bunch of Carollas? Yeah. Because we're national. We got a lot of locations.
Yeah.
I go, never met another Carolla. She goes,
me neither. I never heard of it.
At the Equinox. Uh-huh. And then I go, oh, okay. Well, Adam Carolla. So Adam Carolla. She's like, yeah, we got quite a few Adam Carollas in here.
Hell?
I said, no, you can't. She goes, yeah. I go, okay. I've never met anybody named Adam Carolla ever, but you're saying, well, we got 5 of them. I go, 5 Adam Carollas. Yeah, but we're nationwide. I go, I just can't imagine that there are 5 Adam Carollas at the Equinox.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, Nate, we have a lot of locations. I go, okay. Well, what email does it signed up under? I go, just, God damn it. Hold on. Let me just call him. Kyle. Yeah. Guess what? You'll never imagine what's going on right now. I'm at the Equinox in Glendale, and I can't get in because I gave him my name. But that wasn't enough because there's 5 Adam Carollas.
Yeah.
So he goes, oh, let me call the chick I was talking to or whatever, hang up, I'll get back to you or whatever. So I go back into the lady and I just go, I just can't imagine that there are 5 Adam Carollas at your, this just the Equinox community. There must be millions in the general population. There's 5. What percentage of Americans have an Equinox membership? What do you think, Mayhem?
I would say 0.02%.
Right. So by her math, you have 5 and less than 1%. So there should be thousands.
You know what's easier than hot yoga? It would be to get a private eye, track down the 4 other Carollas, and kill them.
Oh, you're right.
There can only be one.
There can only be one. So I walk in. Now, meanwhile, I don't know why, but I usually get angrier at the bystander. Like, it's not so much.
I know.
In my world, it's the dude who's just standing next to her the whole time. He's just staring at me the whole time.
Magnifying
just say, look, this is crazy. There might be 5 Adam Carollas. So let me see. Maybe your name got listed more than once or something. Just say something. He's just standing there the whole time. So I get off the phone with Kyle. I go back in and I just go, look, I find it unimaginable that there are multiple Adam Carollas at the Equinox. And she goes, well, that's what's on the computer, And then at some point, she turns her screen around, and it's all the people who tried. It was American Express at Adam Carolla at AmericanExpress.com. It was all the people who signed me up. That's where the redundancy was. But anyway, this chick is dumb, right? And not trying to help at all. So, like, she eventually, I just go, just click on the Adam Carolla one. And she goes, oh, okay. Clicks on it. 10 seconds later, she's like, all right, enjoy your workout. I'm like, I don't know. Do we need to do this all the time with everything?
Redundancy upon redundancy. There needs to be a universal thing. Maybe a chip in each of our heads.
I'd be fine with that at this point. Just
me too.
fucking have Elon put Starlink up my ass, and I'll just fucking wave my butt cheek everywhere I go.
The Trump chip.
So then, was good. Took my hot yoga class. Took it, hustled down to Big Bear. Did the show. Had this. This is a. Put this one again under the heading of Ace Man asked for a third time. August has money on the John Jones fight.
Yeah.
Right? So I go, well, what are you thinking, Mike? He goes, I got over under 2.5 rounds. I took the over. I said, that's a pretty good bet, Mike. They're both real good. They're both going to be feeling each other out. That's a good. I like it. 2.5 rounds, 5-minute rounds.
Yeah.
2.5, and you got the over. So if it goes over 2.5 rounds, you're going to get paid.
Yeah.
He goes, yeah. I go, I think that's good. I mean, you could take John Jones, which is a good bet $1 and get back 4 cents or something. I wouldn't take Stipe. So that's a good bet. I like that bet. So then the fight is starting as I go out on stage, right? Yeah. Then I walk off of stage, and Mike is standing in the wings of the theater, staring at his phone, crestfallen. And I go, what happened with the fight? I want to know what was going on with the fight, but I was on stage for an hour. Yeah. And I got off stage. I go, what happened with the fight? He goes, Jones won. 2 minutes and 29 seconds into the third round. I missed it by 1 second. 1 second, he says. I go, no. He goes, yes, I saw it online. I go, you took the over, and the over third round, 230. So if you got to 230, it's a push. If you get to 231, you get the cash, and it ended at 229 of the third? He goes, yeah. I go, that just seems impossible, Mike. And he goes, no, man, that's what happened. And I was like, because even in fighting, even when they stop the fight, sometimes
takes a second.
Takes a few seconds, guys on the ground, it's a little arbitrary,
Yeah.
I go, Mike, and then I kept circling back to Mike. I go, you lost by 1 second or 1.5 seconds? He goes, yes. I'm like, God damn, I can't believe it. And about the fourth time I circled back to him later in the night, he goes, oh, no, it was 4:29 of the third round. I was like, all right, Mike. Well, remember the rule. The third time I ask, you should check it. But Mike hammered that check.
Yep. Yeah.
What'd you think of the fight?
Yeah, good fight. I mean, there was like no surprises this weekend. Really, between Jake
You kind of talked me into Stipe. I was like, I said initially, why are they fighting? This is a bad idea. There's no path for Stipe. And you got me going down the wrong path.
What do you mean?
You told me Stipe. You made a case for Stipe.
I made a case that he's not going to get totally walked over. And in that first round, I was like, oh, maybe he is getting walked over.
Yeah.
But the thing about it is, he's just so experienced and tough. He was able to gut it out. And that just like, I don't know, it jazzed me up for a Tom Aspinall fight because,
right,
it's like one of those big question marks of John Jones. He rolled over a 42-year-old Stipe. Yeah, Stipe is the greatest, most decorated heavyweight, but he's he's kind of a shell of his former self.
Yeah.
And it just age, catches up to everybody in the fight business. And, he battered him and bruised him, but he came back alive and kind of put something together out there in the second and third round. Tried something, but just got smashed eventually. And that just brings the big question, what if it was a unification title fight, heavyweight Tom Aspinall versus John Jones? I think that fight would go much, much different. And
For John Jones.
Yes.
Okay.
John Jones has that. That's the real challenge that's out there. And if he doesn't step up to that challenge, then it's a big, asterisk in his legacy.
I went to Jimmy's house for his birthday and had friends and family. It was kind of a tight, wasn't the celebrity crowd over there on Friday for the Jake Paul Tyson fight.
That's what you want to call it.
Yeah, listen, I try to tell everyone, stop your delusions of grandeur.
No,
Tyson's 58.
Tyson's magic.
He's 58 years old. You lose a little step, you lose a little quickness, you can't figure it out. We've talked about it. That you have the power, so you look good hitting the focus pads, but you can't catch up to the guy. And the timing's a little off, and that's all it was. But it was a good cousin Sal and Bill Simmons, and got to hang out and have some laughs with Jimmy and the crew and all that good stuff. So it was like a good fun
hang.
night. It was a good hang, a great house, built a new house, beautiful, all that stuff. But the fight was pretty much how it was going to go down, right?
Yeah,
people expected way too much, and they also. There's too much mythology in fighting, too. It's like, oh, you shouldn't have pissed off Mike Tyson, man. He pissed him off. Now he's pissed. It's like, oh, so what? He's pissed. He's 58 and pissed. He's not going to be able to catch up to a 27-year-old.
To me, what was cool about that fight was not so much the fight as the cultural touchstone. Netflix being the broadcaster for the fight, which was a big deal. And also the fact that it transcended the fight business.
Yeah.
It was like everyone, I guess we all have always got behind Mike Tyson, got all jazzed up for a Tyson fight. Even saying the Tyson fight in 2024 is crazy.
Right.
But the fact that so many people from so many walks of life were coming up to me going, oh, hey, what do you think, Jake Paul, Mike Tyson? And like little girls. Going,
I know.
Mike
People,
Tyson, Jake Paul.
People who don't care.
That's what I meant, yeah.
Also, Tyson's ass was bare.
Great moment of broadcasting history.
So here's the thing about Tyson. They used to talk about him not wearing socks. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Joe, do you remember that? Like, he didn't wear socks.
Yeah,
because his whole thing is like kind of gladiator style. And gladiators didn't wear socks. And then they talked about him not wearing a robe. He just had a towel with a head slit in it.
Hole cut in it. Yeah.
Right. But I didn't know he was down to underpants. Like, no one ever said anything about
them cheeks.
They didn't. They didn't say anything about the commando part. So he doesn't do the socks. He doesn't do the underpants, and he doesn't do the robe. He doesn't do a lot.
He's caked up, isn't he?
Yeah. All right. So there's that. That was a good hang.
Take that down.
You got some news, right?
I do. I do have some news.
Let's get into it.
Yeah. First of all, you're not going to be surprised. The Pentagon fails seventh audit in a row.
Yeah.
Unable to fully account for $824 billion budget.
$824 billion. So here's the thing. This is my thing to everything all the time, which is you want to get rid of the Department of Education? Yeah. What are you going to do? You're going to get rid of the department? Yeah. First off, we didn't have it for the first 200 years. We were fine. Number one, the year it came in, 79, we were number one. Now we're number 24. And half the kids can't read at grade level. So, yeah. I'm okay with it. How about that?
Yeah.
Like, what are you comparing it to? You want Pete Hegseth to take over the military? What are you comparing it to?
I know. Yeah.
Well, there's a couple of wars going out. We got our fucking ass kicked backing out of Afghanistan, and now we got a budget where there's $800 billion we can't account for, whatever. Like, what? So what are you comparing it to?
Yeah.
I'm saying, yeah. I'll take something different than this.
We've talked about it before, that it seems like anytime that humans are together, a grift comes up. And this is like the ultimate thing. And they have it built into other systems, such as like my dad was in the military. They don't keep you at a certain homestead for a good long time. Because if you're with all your buddies, you guys might make something up and then all of a sudden you have a little army within an army, and that's a bad thing. Same thing in prison. They don't let you stay in the same block forever because then you become really tight friends with people and then you can make an uprising. Same thing in government. Every once in a while, it seems like we need to hack it all away and then bring up a new, Department of Education. Now let's just get rid of it and make the education department. And it's a new thing.
Yeah, my thing is like this. You got a head coach of an NFL team, and he's gone 2-15 for the last 20 seasons. And then I go, how about we get this other guy to be the coach? And I go, he's never been a head coach before. And I go, yeah, okay. Your guy's 2-15. So I'll take a chance on the guy just coached at the college level.
Yeah.
That's
I agree
what I'm
with you.
saying.
Yeah. Department of Defense had 28 reporting entities that had standalone audit, and 9 received an unmodified audit opinion, 1 received a qualified opinion, 15 received disclaimers, and 13 opinions remain pending. So it's just a whole process.
How can you not have this when you have so much money changing hands? But anyway. All right, next story.
Next story, NYC politicians call on Whoopi Goldberg to apologize for saying bakery denied orders over politics.
Yeah.
I looked into this. She suggested on the air that a local bakery declined to make the View Coast a batch of desserts for her birthday because of her political beliefs. What really happened was they had like...
Well, hold on.
Yeah.
Okay. Does she...
I know.
I mean, does she call the bakery and go, hi, this is Whoopi Goldberg from The View? Or do you just go, hey, man, do you have the lady fingers?
No, I think it was Kyle that called over there.
Kyle called Equinox?
Yeah, exactly.
They said they were ready to go? Yeah.
But the boiler exploded. Like they're years old. It's an old, building, and the boiler exploded, and they don't care about the politics.
Jesus Christ.
But
Baker's a shit job.
Isn't it?
Every time I hear about Baker, they're like, well, you got to get in about 3 a.m. and start with the yeast, And I'm like, 3 a.m? Yeah, Baker's I thought morning radio sucked.
Yeah.
You thought paper route sucked when you were a kid. You thought these were 6 a.m., 5:30, 6, 5, 6. Baker's 2 to 3. That's Dawson. If you were a baker, what percentage of work days would be all-nighters for you?
Ooh, like 80?
80. Like
Probably.
You would be drunk.
Yeah.
You'd smell of booze and cigarettes and roll in there at like 2:15.
Blame
right?
it on the yeast.
Yeah, blame it on the fucking yeast.
Absolutely.
That's right. Yeah, that's not hops and barley. That's yeast, bro. Oh, my God. What do you do when you work at this bakery? You go to bed at 6 p.m. every night? Like... Yeah. Fuck, it sucked. And it's not like you do morning radio, at least you get compensated. What are you getting?
You get Baker's dozen.
$19 an hour, getting up at 2 a.m.
I figure that's like the kid's job. You know what I mean? You got the young bucks like, you wake up at 3 a.m. with the yeast. I'm rolling in about 6:30 to get this bread in the oven.
Even rolling in at 6:30. I don't know. I'd be a shit baker.
Some people love the bread, bud.
Listen, I would be a shitty baker, but I'd be a shitty butcher too, because I see him with the bandsaw going through the ribs and stuff. But I'd be a kick-ass candlestick maker. The butcher, no good. The baker, no good. But the candlestick maker, I would excel.
Yeah.
I'd be doing sand castings
Right?
and pouring.
Multicolored?
Yeah, I'd be smelting metals, and making candle, or I could do wood ones on a lathe.
Braiding rope for wick. It's just a constant, everyday job.
I'm only making the candlesticks. I'm not a candle maker.
Oh, I get it.
You understand? I make candlesticks. I don't do the candles. So I don't do butchers. The butcher. I'd be a bad butcher, because I'd also be a bad butcher when they go in, like, give me 1 pound of veal, and then you got to figure out how much 1 pound of veal is, and then you'd set it up there, and it'd be 1.3 ounces, and I'd just go, just fucking eat the veal. Like I wouldn't be like, oh, let me take a small piece off and get it down to 1 pound, you know.
But
and I wouldn't be good with the bandsaw and the guts and the blood and everything.
Little like turkey carving knife, you know that.
I wouldn't like to slice the deli meat on the wheel
and like go back a step where you're in the back with just hanging corpses.
I'd also eat a lot of the deli meat. You know what I mean?
Yep, just straight palm it on.
Yeah, and also I feel like it wouldn't be a judgment-free zone for me. Like I'd be back there and the guy'd order like 1 pound of smoked turkey. And I'd go, "Oh, okay." And I'd be making him the smoked turkey, and I'd look in his shopping cart and I'd see what he'd got in there, you know? And I'd go, making a turkey sandwich, and he'd go, yeah, I am. And I'd go, you notice a jar of Dijonnaise in there? Yeah. You think that's good on a turkey sandwich? Yeah. You want to just take some regular mayonnaise and maybe a little, deli-style mustard? No, I like Dijonnaise. Really. It's pretty much just corn syrup, you know?
Oh, highfalutin ass mustard.
And I notice you got sourdough in there. Yeah. You don't want to go with like a roll or something? No.
I'm beginning.
I don't know if I can give you this
too.
turkey.
I'm beginning to hate this guy.
I don't think I'm not going to give you the turkey until you go get some regular mayonnaise and some deli style mustard. And by the way, get rid of those fucking little mini tomatoes. Go get a beefsteak. All right. I will give you your sliced turkey, and I'm also going to add provolone. Well, you may be lactose intolerant, but if you want a proper turkey sandwich, just have some provolone on there. Go put back the Dijonnaise, put back the little jewel tomatoes, and get a beefsteak tomato, and then come back and also get some olive oil and some vinegar. I want vinegar. We're going to do a dressing, too, okay? You go get that, and then I'll give you your deli meat.
I'm also going to need some sliced pepperoni while you're back there.
I'm sorry. I don't do pepperoni. That's it. I have a waiver. I've signed with the contract. I signed a contract. I don't do pepperoni. I do sausage and onion. So when you come back and you can prove, as a matter of fact, I don't trust you. Go put this stuff back. Go pay for it. Then show me the receipt. Then I will give you the sliced turkey and provolone, and then you can bring that up and pay for it.
Man, you made me hate this guy. Yeah,
but. That's the butcher. Baker, too early.
Yep.
Candlestick maker.
You're on.
I would excel at it.
I think so.
I would, yeah.
Well, yeah. So they're calling for Whoopi to apologize.
Oh, that's the story.
That's
I don't know. Everything for her is a fucking hate crime. And by the way, they already went through this. I don't remember where it was, but there was some market or maybe a bakery or some place on a college campus. I'm looking at Dawson. It's kind of a Fox story. And remember, it's like 3 or 4 years ago, and some black student came in and stole something, and they like chased him out of the store and then sent out all this racism shit, and the school boycotted the store. It was there for like 150 years and stuff, and all this stuff.
Oberlin College.
Yeah, they sued and they got $6 million. Because you can't do this stuff. You can't just.
Who sued?
There's a little store in Oberlin College.
Oberlin College. And it's $36 million.
$36 million. It's like a family-owned little store, bakery, whatever. Been there for like 100 years, and they just cried racism on them, even though nothing happened. And then the whole school took over, and the faculty, and they boycotted the place and everything. And then like 2 years later, it was like, they didn't do anything, and now you owe them $36 million. And I'm not litigious, but it's the only way this shit shuts down.
Yeah.
The fucking chick who they tried to force to get vaccinated, and she wouldn't. They fired her from a job. She's got $12 million. These guys get $36 million. I don't like it, but we have to slow everyone's fucking roll when it comes to lying. And like Kyle Rittenhouse sued everybody and is getting paid because they called him a white supremacist. Sorry.
That's the only way we get things done is to sue.
Well, It would be nice if people didn't level false allegations against entities or people in the first place. But if they're going to continue to do it, then they need to get sued, and that will prevent them from doing it again. Thank you.
Yeah, well, Whoopi, I don't know. No one's suing her yet.
I'm at this point, in terms of like Whoopi, I'm like, all right, can we make this? You love martial arts, right?
Oh, yeah. What?
Steven Seagal is the subject of ironic entertainment for Americans now, right? Like,
yeah.
Under Siege, I didn't go see ironically. I saw it because this is a good movie. I like an action flick, you know? So Steven Seagal has now entered the realm of, like, I don't know, Eric Estrada or something, whereas there's actually, we don't watch his films for enjoyment. We make fun of him.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Has Whoopi joined the ranks of Steven Seagal? Where it's like more people make fun of her than actually are entertained.
We need a term
by her.
Wait, like jumping the shark, like jumping the Whoopi, like being the Whoopi. You're whooping right now. I don't know.
Maybe jumping the battleship, jumping the. What was this movie? Deadly Ground? No.
On Deadly Ground?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Under Siege. When Under Siege got on a train, whenever they shift the mode of transportation. So Speed was on a bus, and then they moved it onto a cruise ship.
Yes.
And then Under Siege was on a battleship, and then they moved it to a train. When they move their type of transportation, it's never good.
No.
It never works out.
No.
All right.
And now Whoopi is, moved on to bakeries.
Yeah. All right, one more.
Mike Tyson's bombshell AIDS revelation. No way I should be here, he says. Yeah, Mike Tyson says he should never been alive. Apparently, this whole story boils down to he had sex with the girl, and the girl had AIDS. And then him and his friend both had sex with the same girl, and they both died of AIDS.
The friend and the girl.
Yes. So, yeah.
I think it was hard for guys to get the AIDS from girls.
Yeah.
Though.
It
Real low
come back
percentage.
this direction, yeah. Unless you have a cut on your.
So I'll bet you the friend who died of AIDS didn't get the AIDS from that girl. He was probably intravenous drug user or something.
Yes.
Or gay sex or whatever it is. It says 1 in 1,000 chance of getting HIV from vaginal sex.
Yeah.
With someone.
It's really rare. So,
right.
Yeah,
so I'll bet he got it somewhere else.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. It seems like that when you're hanging out around
Tyson, he said he wasn't supposed to be here.
Yeah, he definitely
somewhere around round 5. I was thinking that too.
I know.
Like, does he need to? Do I need to be here?
Yeah,
I don't need to be here.
I know.
One of us doesn't need to be here.
Very strange.
Yeah, I gotta go make some candlesticks. So let's wrap this shit up, man.
Hey, the last story that I have is kind of interesting. Disney removes a cartoon episode about a transgender character. It breaks my heart, they say. The Disney animated show Moon Girl and the Devil Dinosaur focused on a transgender character. They shelved the episode.
Yeah. Well, look, okay. Let's just break it down.
Well, hear me out on this.
I'm hearing you out.
The episode was called The Gatekeeper, and it was about the captain of the girls' volleyball team who was born a male, and then they're locked into a closet.
We have a clip, by the way, I think. Should we take a look at it? That's what I hear. Trans is beautiful.
Orange slices bring me back to my soccer days.
Yeah, we've come a long way since 5th grade.
They were the only light in the darkness of me having to play on the boys' team.
Boys' team?
Boys' team. Boys' team. Boys' team.
What's going on here? This for kids?
Trebek,
Yes.
a word, please. Okay, I'm going to tell you something, and it might shock you. Your team captain used to play on a boys' team. Boys' team. Coach, is something wrong with your eyes?
No, I'm just trying to communicate that what you're saying isn't news and also that I don't care.
Hold on.
That's not fair.
Pause. Mayhem.
I know, bud.
You should be doing VO work, bro. let's let Mayhem do that last coach's line.
Wait, I missed the line. What was it?
He goes, no, he's telling me she doesn't care. But let's just hear it.
Coach, is something wrong with your eyes?
No, I'm just trying to communicate that what you're saying isn't news and also that I don't care.
All right.
What I'm trying to communicate that it isn't news and I don't care.
Yeah.
Pretty good. Pretty solid.
I'd watch that show. You got a VO agent, don't you, Dawson?
Oh, I do. We'll hook
Good
up
Mayhem.
Mayhem right
Hook
away.
up. Yeah.
Immediately.
God bless
He's
you.
not going to take any food off of your plate. You guys are not going on the same auditions. Okay. All right, play it out. Sorry.
That's not fair. This is a girls' volleyball league. Only girls can play.
Brooklyn is a girl, and she's gonna play.
You don't want to break the rules around me, Herbeck.
The rules say she can play. Go Squirrels! Go Squirrels!
You got this, Coach. Oh, I'm so sorry about your coach. Shame you'll need to forfeit.
Forfeit? Not a chance.
Well, according to Clause
So that's a
3.5 in the
trans
Regional
character?
Volleyball Constitution,
Yeah.
you need a designated coach.
Got it covered. Officially designated.
Thanks, Lou, but you don't need to take this on. Player coach reporting for duty.
It's weird. They have to
Those
do
are
kind of
regulation knee pads.
do
Actually
kind of
got them from the league. For
in
the Pride
between
Month.
voice.
What's in this?
Water. We good?
Wonderful. Lady Leopards, warm-up time. Girl power.
They got to go. They got to draw some titties, but not too many,
Right?
or too much.
Slight.
Or how's it work?
Gynomastia.
Yeah. All right. So here's the deal, everyone. Commerce. It's all commerce.
Yeah.
Everything is money. All money, all the time. And Disney, like every other business, thought there was commerce for going down this road. Disney doesn't give a fuck, just like Coke doesn't give a fuck, just like Taco Bell doesn't give a fuck with all the Pride Month or whatever. You know, whenever Subaru's talking about making their cars with love or the lesbian couple in the Subaru commercial or whatever, the mixed marriage or whatever the fuck it is, no one gives a fuck about anything. They're massive conglomerations. They want commerce. They want money. And a few years ago, because I experienced it, they would say, do not get caught on this side of this subject or that subject because it's going to hurt you. It's going to hurt your bottom line. Trump just had a huge victory. The Republicans got the House and the Senate. He gets the popular vote and the Electoral College, and Gutfeld is the number one late night show. So now all the people who used to pretend to care about something else.
Yeah.
Commerce. They want money. And now Disney's getting fucked up. And so they want money. So the stuff they never cared about, they're pretending to care about in the other direction now.
Yeah.
So they don't give a fuck. Also, there is a thing where everybody who ends up in the arts is a progressive douchebag. There's a handful of guys that aren't, but everyone who gets attracted to the arts and creating and all that.
The theater kid syndrome. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like almost every movie reviewer is woke and progressive. So, you know, you will be reviewed accordingly. So they're going to want to start doing what they do because that's who they are, the theater majors. But now the world is sort of waking up to the fact that maybe going down the woke road isn't great in terms of commerce. And so they're all going to shift now.
Yeah. I think the episode is kind of like, I don't know, tone deaf a little bit to America. And it was made during that fever pitch of everybody's like fighting back against.
Well, here's my thing. There's two arguments. The one is the right says we don't want biological men competing with women. And then
that's the big thing is that if this episode wasn't about that, it might have been able to be released.
But then the left goes, it's minuscule. It barely happened.
Yeah, but
all right.
if your kid is playing on the opposite team,
Well,
you get stressed
look, it's
out.
the same argument where they go, this illegal migrant killed this chick who was jogging, and then they go, more Americans kill Americans. I go, yeah, I know, but tell it to the parents of the chick that was jogging.
Exactly.
So that's all. It's the same thing. It's like we'd like it to be at 0.
Yeah.
But
exactly,
yes, no,
yeah.
it's not a problem that is overwhelming society, but
Sucks when it happens to you.
one illegal migrant killer is one too many, and one getting a volleyball spiked off their forehead by a chick that used to be a dude 10 minutes ago, that's one too many.
Yeah,
that's the argument.
Yeah,
but also, big picture,
I know.
kids don't need to know about everything.
Yeah.
I mean, let them, here's the deal. You have kids? I got kids. We did the fucking Elf on the Shelf thing 3 years longer than we needed to. They were on to the Elf on the Shelf thing when they were, 8.5, and we kept it going till they're juniors in high school. You know what I mean? Because that's what you try to do.
Training wheels. Yeah.
I don't sit down and talk to my kids about what's going on in Palestine, when they were 9. Try for some Santa. Just try to believe in the Easter Bunny and Santa for as long as you can. And then at some point, you'll get how horrible the world is and how crazy everything is. And I feel the same about anything sexuality. Just leave them be for as long as you can, and then they'll find out.
Yeah, I think their strategy was to make trans kids feel more welcome into this world, but it kind of backfired when, they had to shelf this episode and get rid of it.
All right, Jim O'Hare's out there. Parks and Rec. Jim's also was in my movie as well. A good dude. Be happy to talk to him. Got a new book coming out, and we'll talk to Jim O'Hare right after this.
Hey, I'm Adam Carolla. That's Brad Williams and Jay Leno. Hey, buddy. Over there, we're doing our 3rd annual comedy fantasy camp. That's going to be January 23rd through the 26th, right in Hollywood, California. Where else would it be? These guys are going to be there.
So remember, 2 out of every 3 comics make it big.
Well, 1.5.
Do I get paid for this? Please tell me I get paid for this.
Go to comedyfantasycamp.com and get in on the fun.
Public Rec. I love these guys. I'm wearing their shirt right now. Look, wearing nice pants sucks. They're stiff, they're uncomfortable. The fabric is always squeezing the family jewels. Stay comfy and classy this season. Public Rec's Daymaker pants. Beautiful. They gave me these pants. I wear them. They are comfortable, and they look really good as well. They feel like sweatpants, but they look like tailored pants. Stretchy with elastic waistbands, so you can wear them anywhere. I mean, listen, you're going to Thanksgiving. You may be getting your grub on. You don't want to be pinched by a tight pair of slacks. And like I said, the shirt that I'm wearing right now, the go-to long sleeve shirt. This one's in heather charcoal is the color. Beautiful, comfortable, moisture wicking. You want to be comfortable. Most comfy pants only come in small, medium, large, and XL, but the Daymaker pants, well, you select your exact width and length, I mean, for me, it's 34, 35, 34. 36, 34. I'm in that range somewhere, 10 unique colors, including navy, dark olive, and stone gray. Give the gift of comfort this holiday season with Public Rec's Daymaker pants. And for a limited time, you get 20% off your entire order with the code ACS at Public Rec. That's REC, publicrec.com. Am I right, Dawson?
Stop suffering in regular pants and give the gift of comfort this holiday season. For a limited time only, our listeners get 20% off when you use code ACS at checkout. That's right, 20% off with the code ACS at publicrec.com. After you purchase, they'll ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them we sent you. Say goodbye to pants that put up a fight, because when comfort meets style, you found Public Rec.
This holiday season, you traveling internationally or connecting with family and friends somewhere? Well, a new language can open doors to a meaningful conversation and cultural appreciation as well. Rosetta Stone, the most trusted language learning program available on desktop or as an app. Truly immerse yourself in the language you want to learn. Dr. Drew and his wife used Rosetta Stone. Her French wasn't great. His is, but he said she hit Rosetta Stone before they went to France, and she sounded like she was born there. It's amazing. 30 years, millions of users, 25 languages, Spanish, French, Italian, German, Korean, Chinese, Arabic. It's all there, designed for long-term retention. No English translations. Learn to speak, listen, and think in the language you're learning. Plus, the built-in true accent feature gives you feedback on your pronunciations. You can learn anytime, anywhere. Work it right into your schedule. It's easy. It's Rosetta Stone, right, Dawson?
Don't put off learning that language. There's no better time than right now to get started. For a short time, Adam Carolla Show listeners can get Rosetta Stone's lifetime membership holiday special. This offer will not last long. Visit rosettastone.com/Adam. That's unlimited access to 25 language courses for the rest of your life. Redeem your holiday offer at rosettastone.com/Adam today for yourself or as a gift that keeps giving. It's time to check Adam's voicemail.
Hey, Sam. Brian in Alabama. Hey, just wanted to add another theme to your hard-drinking, rambling, witchy woman 70s music genre. A lot of nautical maritime songs. We got Brandy by The Looking Glass. We got The Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald by Gordon Lightfoot. We got I'm Your Captain by the underrated Grand Funk Railroad. Southern Cross by Crosby, Stills, and Nash. Probably a few more out there, but that's what popped into my head. Get it on.
You can leave us a message at 888-634-1744.
Ride, Captain, ride upon your mystery ship. But who the hell was that?
Blues Image.
Blues Image. 70-something sailors on they used to love the San Francisco Bay. They love to say San Francisco Bay.
Yeah.
And New Orleans and Cajun Queens. Those are the two destinations people sung
They're
about.
good places. I get it.
Nothing ever happened in Valley Village or Encino.
Studio City.
Van Nuys, Sherman Oaks. He was there.
Chatsworth.
Reseda. No, it was just the San Francisco Bay.
Definitely not
and
Reseda.
New Orleans with them Cajun Queens.
Love it.
Yeah, that's what we sung about, Jim.
Yes, we did. I have to tell you, I've been here in a while, and just so people, I don't know if they know about this place. So you come in, your place is amazing, the studio is incredible, and the outside. You guys have a little crafty services now. Well, it wasn't here last time I was here. Mm-hmm. So for the first time, and I'm going to say 10 years, I just ate candy corn. Damn, that crap is delicious. And I know it's crap. I 100% know it's garbage, but I couldn't stop.
Can we say this? All right, let's see if we can figure this out. What splits the room from a dietary standpoint, a culinary standpoint? Candy corn splits the room.
Yeah.
People love it, or they go, it's the grossest shit ever.
That they've ever had, yeah.
Plantains split the room, and beets split the room. Now, I love beets, and I love plantains, and I love candy corn as well. But I feel like they will split the room.
Yeah, I do plantains, and I obviously do candy corn. I'm not into beets. And I think what will also split the room, those sheets of seaweed. Have you seen those seaweed little papery things?
Yes.
That everyone who's super healthy eats?
Yeah, but I don't categorize those as splitting the room because nobody really likes them. They're just
I agree with that.
Those who will tolerate them and those who won't.
And I think on
But
sets,
I love beets. That's the thing.
I don't.
See?
I don't need that.
Well,
no.
we're splitting the room.
We're splitting the room, yeah.
But
yeah.
you love plantains.
And that damn candy corn. I mean, really, over 10 years, I've never had candy corn. And I looked at it. It's in a jar. You got some nice choices out there, by the way. Cookies. Like, there's a whole thing going on.
My assistant made 3 pie offerings today.
I saw there were pie out there.
People love it.
Who doesn't like a nice piece of pie?
Everybody.
Yes.
I get angry at people that don't like pie.
Oh, I love pie.
You gotta
I jammed
love pie.
a piece of pumpkin on the way in.
Yeah, pumpkin's the best.
And you know, a couple weeks ago, I was in Austin, and I went to this. I think it's called the Salt Lick. It's a kind of a famous barbecue place in Austin, and they had a dessert that was so good that I'm telling you, I would get on a plane right now and go back to. It was a
candy corn plantain pie,
yes, with sheets of seaweed on top.
Seaweed on top.
It was those. You know, it had peaches and it's not a crumble. It's a
cobbler.
Cobbler. Oh, Adam, dear God, I'm telling you, I'd leave here right now if someone said there was a plane to get me there.
Cobbler, great dessert, horrible job. You know?
Yes.
Cobbler. Working on people's old shoes.
That is a tough job.
All day. That's your job, is to work on people's shoes that should be thrown
old
out.
Shoes. Yeah, no,
Stinky
you're right.
Old shoes, but great dessert.
Great dessert.
You know what? You know what's
peach
good
and
about the
blueberry.
cobbler in the dessert department? I'll tell you why. I'll tell you what's good about the cobbler. The best dessert there is. Now, look. You can argue all you want, but your arguments are going to be lateral arguments to my argument for the best dessert. It's apple pie a la mode. Oh. That's the best. Now, you can say, I like this, or I like a churro, or soufflon, or you say whatever you want, but you can't do better than apple pie a la mode. Now, the thing about the apple pie a la mode is you get a wedge of apple pie, and they heat it up, and then they give you a ball of ice cream, and it rolls off it.
Because of the heated pie,
and it's a ball. You can't put a golf ball would roll off.
Slides
it too.
right off.
The cobbler comes in a bowl, and it's a heated bowl, and you put the fucking ice. It's got nowhere to go but down. Nowhere.
So
it's
good.
like this podcast. There's nowhere for the ice cream to go but into the cobbler, which is great because the fucking apple. Last time I ordered apple pie a la mode, you know, everyone's doing fancy now. They give me a round, like, ball of apple pie, and then I'm trying to put the fucking ice cream on top, and it just rolls off.
Yeah.
So now you do the side swipe. You try to get a piece of the ball of ice cream and a piece.
You want the perfect bite. You want the ice cream with the pie.
Right.
That's the perfect
and the
bite.
right amount of melt into the crust. It emulsifies into the crust. But the
For the
cobbler,
record, I'm fully erect. Anyway, just saying. Just saying.
Cobbler, I'm in my refractory period. You had me a candy corn chip. The cobbler comes in its own little dish, right? Its own little baking thing, and the ice cream has to sit on top. There's nowhere that ice cream can go but on top.
Yeah.
Can't find its way off.
It's an amazing, and I hadn't had a cobbler in forever either. And it was just randomly somebody said, I'm going to get a cobbler. I said, oh, I'll try that. Damn! I mean, better than the barbecue, and I love me some barbecue. I had some burnt ends, and yeah.
I
love me my food, people.
By the way,
I love me.
Welcome to Pawnee. Stories of friendship, waffles, and parks and recreation. Behind the scenes glimpse into the making of the beloved sitcom. Yeah, what's some stories in the book, Jim, that we might?
This is a book I wrote. I don't know what you're talking about. Yes, it's really all about my view of what happened over the 7 seasons. You know, we did 7 years, which nowadays doesn't kind of happen much. It's the rare show that's going to get that kind of life. And, you know, we were doing 22, 24 episodes a season. But this is a term that I hate saying, but I'm going to say it because it applies. This is my love letter to the show. I'm an adult man, and I find that term uncomfortable. But I do believe it kind of sums it up, because when this book came to me and the offer to do it and everything, and I got the feeling that might have been thinking, oh, we're going to do a little bit of dirt. We're going to get some behind-the-scenes dirt on these people, you know, on Amy and Pratt and everybody. And there's 2 things. One, I don't think I would write that kind of book. And 2, I don't have it. It truly was 7 years of just a great time, just an amazing time. And so I just wanted to share my stories. And then just so graciously, everybody came on board. You know, Pratt is so damn busy, and yet he set hours aside for me, and the creators and the other cast members. So it was pretty amazing.
He seems like a genuinely good dude.
He's such a good dude. Such a good dude. Here's the kind of dude he is. Now, imagine, he's got a lot going on in his life. This is a while ago. I get a text. Hey, Jimmy, is everything okay? Yeah, what's going on? Nothing, I'm just checking. I go, yeah, what's going on? He goes, no, And I had a weird feeling. Cut to the chase, he had a dream. And apparently I didn't survive that dream.
Oh, really?
And he needed to reach out to me to make sure I was okay. That's a good dude. That's just a good dude. And he gave me time for this book, and he's been, I don't know, you know, Pratt is, when you become at his level, he is a worldwide thing. You know, people love to build you up to take you down. And so I know things have been said and stuff, but the man I know is incredibly funny. That's an easy one, but also incredibly kind and sweet and a good family dude. I love him.
But his subconscious is imagining your death.
I know. Well, yes, it was. It was in there. Yeah, I died.
The thing about where we're at now, I mean, as a society, where we were at, I don't know anymore now because guys are doing the Trump victory dance in the end zone and the octagon now. But where we were at several years ago is guys like that, like Chris, who said, I'm religious and I like to hunt. We don't care if you're religious and we don't care if you hunt. What we do care about is who you voted for.
Yeah.
And then
that's what it's come down to. Yeah.
He said he's religious. Yeah. Says he likes to hunt. Yeah. It's a Trump voter. And we go, he didn't say that.
He didn't say
I
that.
know, but that was enough. Yeah. He also said he had misgivings about the vaccination. Oh, not wearing a mask? Okay.
Even though he's never literally said any of never said any of it, but you're right. We immediately go there and then social media, boom,
right. So you go, hey, look, I would tell my elderly dad to get the vax, but I don't think I want my 14-year-old son getting the vax. And they go, oh, voting for Trump, are we? And I go, not necessarily. Just telling you.
Just saying what.
Wouldn't have my young son do it, would have my old dad do it. Gotcha. Yeah. All right, now we're coming after you. So
that's what goes on.
That's what happened to Chris because he's never said anything.
Exactly.
He just hunts and he's Christian or he's religious, whatever he is. Yeah. That's enough. Target on back. We get, but not because we hate hunters or Christians, because we think we know how you vote. That's the New World Order.
And he's never announced how he votes. He's never announced any of it.
But
it's his own private thing.
Now he's in the majority, so now he probably doesn't have to worry as much.
It's the case when stereotyping is okay, is accepted in our society.
In that particular case, we will stereotype and be okay with it. I want to get. We were talking about music at the top and vintage songs, and one of the bands that I don't mention as much as I should about how much I hate them is the band War. Because they have a lot of shitty songs that we listen to over and are like, why can't we be friends and stuff? And nothing.
Why can't we be friends? Why can't we? Oh my God, I haven't heard that in 100 years.
Can't we? And the lyrics are them just stoned and freestyle. You say you're working for the CIA.
Oh, you are blowing my mind.
You better work for the Mafia. It's like, okay, the CIA and Mafia don't rhyme, and you just made up something that doesn't exist, and fuck you.
But it made sense at the time. I was into it.
Well, I realized, you know how the drug companies are all taking these 70s songs Zempic.
That's Magic by Pilot.
Magic by Pilot.
Produced by Alan Parsons.
Oh, that's how you know. Well, I don't even know what this drug company, I don't even know what they're selling. They're selling something for like macular degeneration or something. And I don't know what we'll hear it. Izervay. These names are all made up, by the way, but we've now hit. Turn the volume up, please. We've hit rock bottom.
Developing geographic atrophy, or GA.
No.
GA can be unpredictable and progress rapidly, leading to irreversible vision loss. Now there's something you can do to
slow it down and get it going slower.
Ask your doctor about Izervay. Izervay is an eye injection.
We've officially jumped the fucking shark.
We're jumping
done.
the shark.
We're done as a society.
Going whoopee.
Bum, 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 bum. All right. Is there a song? Who's got more mileage out of a pretty shitty song than now? So here's the thing about War's Lowrider. Here's what you want to do when you write a song. Even if it's a shitty song, like Alice Cooper, School's Out for summer.
School's out for summer.
All right, and then school's out forever.
Forever.
But first off, then it's out forever. It's not out for the summer. You know what I mean? It just you had me at ever. You know what I mean?
I know, but I remember really being into all that stuff.
I know, but Alice Cooper. I'm looking at you, Dawson. That song 18 is the worst fucking song ever made. Cause I'm 18, I like it. I don't know it. I got a boner for no reason. Cause I'm 18. It's people like Alice Cooper. I get it, but this fucking songs suck. But anyway, Lowrider is the Mexicans only have one song, one rock song. You know what I mean? They don't have Doobie Brothers songs. You know what I mean?
Yes.
They have this song. Like there's one song for school's getting out, school's out for summer, right? And so when you do a movie and there's a montage where the kids are all running down the hall and throwing their note, you have to license that song.
Yeah.
It's not a good song, but it's the only one.
That's all you got.
I want to write one for Arbor Day. So I can fucking hammer checks.
Such a big holiday.
So they write this shitty Lowrider song, which is fine, but whatever. But when George Lopez does a stand-up special, they have to fucking play Lowrider when he walks out on stage. Now, I, as a fellow comedian, would say to George Lopez, it's a little on the nose. You know, it's kind of exact. You don't want to do exactly
right.
what everyone thinks you're going to do,
Yeah.
but that's George Lopez. In every Mexican, everything, in every movie, if the Mexican guy, now they've sold it to the fucking Pfizer, and how much money has been generated by that one shitty 4-minute song?
Yeah. Lots of money. And I'd take it if it was offered.
Dude, I love stupid songs. You just made me realize I loved every song that you named.
Every song you mentioned.
Every song you named.
You don't like
I didn't think they were stupid till you just described them. Then I'm like, oh, he's right. Those are
I know
stupid.
they're stupid. I'm like, yeah,
right.
Low Rider.
Look. No, War, that's the
What's
different
it good
song.
for?
Oh, my
nothing.
bad.
Absolutely nothing.
War's a band, but
My bad.
what is it good for?
That's not War.
No,
That's
that's not
Edwin
War.
Starr.
That's
Edwin
different.
Starr. Yeah.
My bad, guys. I'm
Yeah.
totally off.
All right. Dawson, did you have another Mexican anthem?
Yeah, Santana's Oye Como Va.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
That's the one. But it doesn't get the airplay.
It's sort of what Mariah Carey is to a Hanukkah song. You know what I mean? Like it's there, but it's not.
Lowrider is definitely way higher. on the list.
Yeah.
When George Lopez says, I'm coming out to Lowrider, does there anybody in his camp who goes, that's kind of fucked out, boss? Like, it's not. You're a funny guy. You should be a little more
better.
creative. We can do better.
We can do better.
How about Oye Como Va?
Why not?
All right. Do you have a little bit of 18 from Alice Cooper? Alice Cooper writes such shitty songs. I don't even know if he writes them. I don't even know what
I share his birthday.
Oh, I love it. Like, you're my keyboardist. Like, I got this song.
Yeah.
I'm 18 and I don't know what I want because I'm 18 and I don't know what I want because I'm 18. Like, wouldn't you just go like, why don't you go back into the room?
Give that another thought.
Get a fresh steno pad.
Take another look at that.
Don't use the pad you just used to write that song. Let's get a new pad
you
for
have
you to
18
write
on there way
stuff
too
down.
often. Move on.
Write it down. Write it down. So, Substack subscriber Ron Miller, worst song, Man Eater or Lowrider? All right. You can't do worse than Man Eater, just like you can't do better than Apple Pie a la mode. There's a lot of lateral moves to Man Eater, but you can't do it. Lowrider is not a bad song. It's just fucked out, and it is grafted onto every movie scene where a Mexican comes around the corner and is Caprice classic, right?
Yeah, you're right. It's not a bad song. It's just overdone. And Man-Eater, dear God, I haven't thought of that song in forever.
Oh, well, consider yourself blessed living in your candy corn utopia, because that fucking song gets pumped into every restaurant I try to eat at, every diner.
Are we thinking of the same man-eater?
Yeah, whoa.
He's a man. Oh,
Yeah,
he's a man.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wow, I have not. That has not been on my radar, and I'm very happy
so
about
blessed.
that.
You're so blessed.
It's an old standard around here.
You aware of what's going on in the Middle East, or is everything just smooth and steady she goes?
What's going on there?
Good.
I think it's all good.
You know what? I'm even going to bring it up. I'm not even going to bring it up.
Not a care in the world.
Doing
people.
all right? Thinking about maybe
everything is good.
Thinking
Might
about
switch carriers. I might switch my telephone carrier. Other than that, not a care in the world.
thinking about maybe swinging by Ukraine this year and maybe seeing the sights.
I love to vacation. I love to travel. So I might do Ukraine. Yeah, yeah. Because it's great. I just like to get around.
What a blessed life you have.
What a blessed life. Yes.
I cannot escape from Man-Eater. I cannot
Really?
escape it, and yet you haven't heard it in 30 years.
I have not heard it. You are bringing up songs I haven't thought of in a long time, and I actually love that.
Yeah, well, 18 was just on the 70s station when I got in my car. But that was bad. But
I will say 70s is my go-to.
Who gets?
I'm serious.
Who's hammering the check for the pharmaceutical company getting the lowrider? Now, is that Eric?
I think that was them playing the actual. It sounded like them.
No,
man,
no
cover band.
You think,
a War cover band?
First off, half of War's got to be dead.
No,
it'll be the songwriter.
Is Eric Burden?
No, that's post Eric Burden War.
Oh, it's post Eric Burden War.
Yeah,
I thought all of War was Eric Burden.
No, like maybe half of the band. Their first couple records with Eric Burden and War, and then War continued.
Oh, so Lowrider's post Eric Burden.
Exactly.
Oh, well then who wrote Lowrider?
I'll find out.
Damn, he is knowledgeable.
Yeah, except for he's wrong a lot, too.
Oh,
so we don't know, but he has a lot of conviction.
I was
so
going
we
to
don't
say,
know
it's
for
the
sure.
way he says it. It's like, this is a fact.
A lot of conviction.
Yeah.
He'd be a good politician.
Yes.
A lot of good politics. Yeah. Yeah. Dawson, let's hear you say you've changed your mind on fracking, but your values haven't changed. Do it with a lot of sincerity.
I've obviously changed my mind on fracking, but my values remain consistent.
Yeah. That's perfect. I'm voting for Dawson.
I'm pulling the lever.
I have no idea what that means, but I'm voting for you, Dawson, because of your sincerity and conviction.
So, Lowrider was written by the producer, Jerry Goldstein.
A Jew!
A Jewish guy wrote it?
Jews write, they write all the Christmas songs, they write all the Mexican songs, they fucking got their, this is why people say they run Hollywood, because they got their fingers in everyone's pie.
Yep.
Goldstein writes the biggest Mexican,
That's great.
biggest Mexican anthem of all time.
He splits the songwriting credit with about 6 other people. I imagine they're band
Is there
members.
one Rodriguez in the pile?
Is there Juan anybody?
Thomas Sylvester Papa D. Allen, Morris B.B. Dickerson, Harold Ray Brown, Leroy Jordan.
Oh, there's a black guy.
Yeah.
Charles Miller, Lee Oscar, Howard E. Scott.
That's black dudes. Yeah.
Wow.
Cool. That's cool.
Somebody's got to inform George Lopez that you may not want to come out to this song anymore. It's all written by black guys and Jews. All people, your people will be fighting in prison right now. Wrote your anthem?
Yeah.
Come on.
Oh,
genius.
And Lowrider came out after Eric Burden was out of the band already. Really? But it had to be right in there, though, right? It couldn't be 5 years, because Lowrider's pretty old song.
75, I believe, Lowrider was.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, 50 years.
And I think Eric Burden was with the War in the late 60s.
But how did that?
Really?
I'll find out for sure. But
How
yeah,
did
Spill
that
the Wine.
Yeah. He was in the Animals. Then he goes to War.
Is it Cheech and Chong? Was that what caught fire to that song? Was that why it became an anthem for the Mexicans? Like, there's some kind of propaganda. Like, it came into the movie scene. I remember there was a Cheech and Chong movie that had that song.
Up in Smoke, right?
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
And
Lowrider, 75, yeah.
And it had
when did Burden leave? So then, no, it's the lack of choice.
Yeah.
There's only this for when you're making the movie or the commercial or whatever it is, and you need to convey this feeling, we have one choice and one choice only. It's a Jew and a bunch of black guys wrote a song about that Mexicans love.
With some horns.
So Eric Burden and War formed in 69. Spill the Wine came out in 70. And then by 73, there was only one original member.
So Eric gone, and then this. You don't want to duck out of War right before Lowrider drops.
No.
You know? But there are other things, like the number one movie for black males is Scarface. Like whenever you
Is that
go,
a fact?
It's a fact. Yeah,
No, that's
Every
cool.
barbershop I've been to.
every state. If you ever go to like Cribs on MTV and whatever, the athlete or the NBA baller guy or whatever is doing the tour, and he's got his movie theater downstairs, popcorn machine, Scarface poster. They issue you, if you're black, with your birth certificate, you get a Scarface poster. If you're male, that's how it works. You guys didn't know that?
Yeah.
I did not know that. I'm learning.
I grew up in the hood.
At
I'm
the
learning.
hospital.
Yeah.
I'm learning.
Hand to God. At the hospital,
Birth
you're given
certificate
and a Scarface poster is presented.
Signed or just like a
No,
just
it's
a
not.
poster?
Frame, though. Frame.
Frame, nice.
Yeah, it's
nice.
not. Yeah, they don't.
That's
who's gonna? You
really-
think Pacino's gonna be able to? You know how many black men are born every day? Are you kidding me, Jim? What the fuck kind of question
What
is
else?
that?
What do you have time to do? I guess.
Well,
Yes.
look, obviously, don't make a mockery of it, but you get a sign.
No, I wouldn't want to make.
You
a
don't
mockery
get a
of it.
signed
Yeah.
poster, but you get a poster
like
with
it.
your birth certificate. Only is not a black female.
Yeah,
black
just
man.
black male. Okay.
All right, that's number one. They don't really have black people in the film.
No, not. No.
I didn't even know where there's a black. I haven't studied it.
The guy
haven't
that
seen
killed
Ages, but-
Scarface, I think, was black.
Really?
Yeah. And do you don't remember the guy with the glasses, the shotgun? See, I grew up in the hood. I've seen that movie like 100 times.
Am I wrong or what about black people in Scarface?
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is Mexicans' number one song, Lowrider, except for they had nothing to do with the formation or construction of that song.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Scarface, number one in the black community movie, even though there's not black people in it. That's all.
That's interesting.
Maybe one black guy.
Maybe.
You think the guy who killed him is black?
I think he was like a black Colombian. Like in the
You
movie.
grew up in the hood, right?
Yeah, I did, yeah.
And by the way, we'll just call him Colombian for the sake of my argument. Black Colombian. You grew up in the hood. They love Scarface.
Yeah. It was like a constant. When I got to high school level, I was like, and I was hanging out with the black kids there. Everybody loved that movie. And I was like, the movie ends and he dies, right? But everybody had like a big sack of weed and was like, they wanted to be Scarface. Yeah.
But they don't, not big Alice Cooper fans, right?
Nah, I didn't really. I only knew Alice Cooper from Wayne's World.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
I know.
That was it.
Mm-hmm.
That was my reference.
And if you looked up Scarface, the top 10 cast members, like acting in order, there would not be one black person in there, which is weird because normally they go, oh, we love Barbershop, and you go, all right, I get it, or Friday, or Boys in the Hood. Like, okay, I get it. That's a black cast and that's a community and whatever. Nothing in this film.
But what I think that speaks to the black community is the fact that this immigrant came from nothing and built his way up through ruthlessness. That's kind of like part of the rap.
Oh, I get there's
culture.
There's reasons to be attracted. I'm just saying it is rare.
Yeah.
That a film that has no black representation is the number one black film of all time.
That's kind of crazy. And I never knew this. And are you teasing that this is true?
Well,
it's a huge film in the black community.
Yeah, black Colombian. I don't know. I don't think black.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Dark
that
Colombian. I stand by my no black people.
You're right.
You're right.
Give me back to the top 12 of cast members. Oh, well, look, let's put it to you this way. All right. How many of these people that you grew up with, your brothers, you grew up in the hood, had posters of the movie The Wiz?
I know.
Or could quote any line from the all-black cast of The Wizard of Oz.
I never even knew that was a movie until well into my 20s. I never even heard about The Wiz. I was like, what? What's The Wiz? Much later, because nobody was into that. No.
All right, so we just went to the top 18, I think. We're the top 6.
No.
There's nobody.
There's not a black
No one
actor
in
in
the
that
top
mix.
50.
No one in the top 50. Wow. Next time I talk to a black person or Mexican, I'm going to have to explain. I'm going to need you to, just sit down.
I think it's more about the message of the movie. It's like how you can rise up from nothing.
Listen, we heard you the first time.
There's
We
a lot of
get it.
movies about rising up, but how did this become the number one?
Yeah, every third movie, some fucking buddy's rising up. So,
was Evita one of the big movies? I don't think so.
I don't
They
think
rose
she
up.
rose up.
She rose up, but I don't think that was the movie to go to.
Yes. All right. So now I'm trying to think. What else? Because, see, that's the whole thing. Like Japanese, Jews, they don't really have their own movies. You know what I mean? I don't know. We got Yentl or something, but they don't really.
Fiddler on the Roof.
I know, but
Classic Japanese movie.
But you don't see the posters up everywhere. You know what I mean? All right, I'm just...
Wait, whose house are you going to that has Scarface? I don't know.
I am invited via the magic of television into the homes of the successful rapper, the successful NBA player, the successful NFL player, the black athlete. They have the, Lamborghini Gallardo in the garage, which isn't theirs, something in Florida, something with a fish tank.
Yeah.
And then at some point we get to their movie theater.
And there's
one poster. Yentl.
Could you imagine? Was she a boy? Was he a girl? Yeah, Yentl.
Oh yeah. We have the clip from Road Hard, by the way, where Jim and I are doing some acting together. I don't even know how you got that part. We must have just.
I remember
come out
you
to
pitched and you said, "I won't do this unless I get O'Hare." I believe
need O'Hare.
That's what I heard. Now I don't know if that's true. You could tell me. That was a lot of fun, and many people have come up to me about that film.
Oh, really?
Yeah, people like that film.
Yeah, he played the club owner who was explaining to me that my guarantee wasn't really a guarantee.
Oh, sweetie, I gotta go. I love you too. Okay.
Hey, great sad.
Thanks.
Wow. So listen, got to tell you though, sadly we didn't quite make our guarantee.
We didn't make our guarantee? I have a guarantee. I made my guarantee when I got on the Southwest flight and came to Addison, Texas.
Yeah, but think about how we did.
We sold out. Sold out Friday, we sold out Saturday.
Oh, early shows. Okay, now the late shows, about 2/3. I gave a lot of radio comps to get people in the seats. We both know about tonight. You were there.
Fuck. Mark, I had an $8,000 guarantee.
Yeah, which we did not make. Listen, don't worry about it. We'll do better next time.
Next time? Oh, there's not going to be a next time, Mark. I guarantee there's not going to be a next time.
Do you know that you're booked for the second week in August? Tender?
You got to learn the definition of guarantee and tender.
That was Jim O'Hare, everybody.
Okay, explain to me how that was not an Academy Award performance for both of us. For both of us. We should have been up there together accepting that award.
I agree.
Yes.
Eye on your shoulders, eating candy corn and plantains.
But I'm going to tell you, I'm not a stand-up. I bow down to stand-ups because I think it's one of the scariest things somebody could do. And you taught me a lot on that. You were telling me how this whole thing works with the clubs and the guarantees. I would just, in my world, I have a contract. Here's what I'm going to make. And I leave, and then somehow that money is given to me. You guys, that is a whole different world. And that was eye-opening.
Yeah,
not in a good way.
Well, they give you the guarantee to get you to go.
Yeah.
And God willing, you get past the guarantee into the profit part. So the way it basically works at a club, whenever you're on a certain level, they go, here's your guarantee. Because with no guarantee, you're not getting on a plane.
Right.
So they go, here's your guarantee.
And are they covering your flight? Are they covering that, or that's all on your own?
So how they normally do it, it varies a little bit, but they usually, sometimes they'll have a stipend for travel, and that just means whatever you want it to mean. You know, people, I do end up flying Southwest like a lot, and people always go, what are you doing flying Southwest? I go, well, look, you're only going there to get paid. So how much of your money do you want to spend on a first class ticket versus a Southwest flight, and so on and so forth? Like, there's different, people have different heads on it. There are people like, you know, when Bob Saget died, he was like in a Ritz-Carlton or something like that, right? There's always the Ritz-Carlton, but you pay for that. That's coming out of your own pocket.
Yeah.
And then there's the airport, whatever, the Red Roof Inn or whatever. My head on it is, I'm only doing this to make money, so I should return with as much money as I can, and I don't want it left in the airplane or the hotel. But other guys' heads on it are, I'm miserable, and the only way you'll get me to do this is if I stay at the Ritz-Carlton
and sit on a first-class seat.
If I stay at the Airport Inn, I will not do it.
Yeah.
Also, my background is I never owned a box spring until I was like 33. I slept on mattresses on the floor and stuff.
So you don't need fancy.
No, whatever rental car's the cheapest, the hotel's decent enough, walk to the club, you know, find a local whatever, have a sandwich, you know. It's no big. I'm
pretty
care.
much that way except for flying. I am a large man, and I am miserable and literally miserable in coach. And if you're recognized, that turns into a whole thing. And so I will say that is where I treat myself.
Yes, you're right.
Well,
You should.
Tell us a little bit about your journey from, you know, I don't know what you did exactly before Parks and Rec, or like what was your journey
Second
up
City
to?
guy,
I lived
right?
in the hood.
Nice.
Yes.
Great.
And I signed Scarface posters for newborns. I trained.
They're not signed, so please stop making
No,
a
because
mockery
I
of
did
what I'm
special.
saying.
Mine were signed.
Okay.
No, I started out. My first professional gig was a DJ, Rensselaer, Indiana. WLQI. It was nuts. I took home $120 a week, and I worked 60 hours a week. I did the logs, and this is in the old days with carts and splicing, editing, and just all the hell stuff. But
carts are cartridges.
Then you put
them into the player like an 8-track cassette and hit the button.
Awesome.
And make the sound effect.
And half the time they wouldn't hit.
They wouldn't fire.
They hadn't recycled, and then you have to. It's a whole thing.
It was so analog.
It was. It was.
Did you hit
nuts.
carts for like commercials and jingles and stuff?
All of it. We would stack at I had a morning show. You would stack the carts in front of you.
The sound effects?
Yeah, for anything, for the commercials, the spots, whatever. They would be stacked.
But did you have a lot of sound effect carts?
A few. No, this was
I'm going
to say this was mid 80s.
Oh wow.
No.
I made a cart separator organizer. I used to be a cabinet maker, so when I got into radio, the carts were everywhere, and I made a cart wall where you could just put them all alphabetically. And Jimmy used to make carts. He made the throw up one. He'd make all the sound, and you'd fire the thing. You know, you'd have like some guy'd be calling in, and he'd go like, "Oh man, I just got back from the doctor. I had a carbuncle on my back. It was 4 pounds." And you put the thing in. You just keep hitting the button with the cart. You know, get the throw up cart.
Yeah. So wait, then after being a DJ, how did you progress to acting?
That whole thing was crazy, and it was great. It was a great learning experience, but it was time to go. And this is a random phone call that happened one time on air. The secretary came in and said, "There's some guy that wants to talk to you during a break." Okay. He gets out and he goes, "I drive through here all the time," because St. Joe College was there. He said, "My daughter goes to school here. I think you're funny. I think you're..." Anyway, it was all lovely, this lovely phone call. And he said, "You should consider Second City in Chicago." And of course, I knew of Second City. Who didn't? Especially I was raised in the Chicago area. And I took some stranger's advice, and I went to Second City and started taking classes. And that changed everything, because I can picture the moment, the first laugh I went on stage because my family used to say to me, "What if you're only family funny? Like, what if it turns out you're not funny out in the world?" Yeah, thanks, family.
Thanks, family.
And so I got that first laugh. I'm thinking, I don't know any of these people. So this is my laugh. This is legit.
Not family.
That family funny.
Yeah.
And so that kind of started, and then I got into a comedy group with a bunch of people, and then we did this show called Stumpy's Gang in Chicago that became this crazy hit, and people were obsessed with it. We were doing midnight shows. There was blood, and this big vagina puppet was killing everybody, as the vagina will. And it was crazy. And then we thought, let's bring it to L.A. and see what that could.
Oh, wow.
And we brought it to L.A., and it went crazy here, too. It was like a cult thing.
What year?
We brought it here in 94, so I've been here 30 years.
Do you ever figure out who this person was who called
No idea.
and said, go to Second City?
Not a clue. It was, and I'm sure he said to me his name, but it was just I wasn't giving it any thought. It was just a guy calling. I have no idea. But it really, and now would I have still ended up there? I don't know, maybe. I don't know. But this stuck in my head, like that's a path. Because I was looking for a path. I was looking like, what am I going to do? This radio thing didn't seem to be working out. First of all, the guy where I worked, he was out of his effing mind and punching holes in walls, and checks weren't, they weren't clearing.
Radio isn't really show business.
No,
it's
it is
somewhere between like roofing and show business.
That's so funny because I was so into radio in your days, and even before. There was some guy on my local station called Al the Van Man, and I totally wanted to be Al the Van Man. I thought it was awesome. You could play music all day, and then now you guys are telling me the stark reality of carts and
somebody reminded me at a show I did recently about how at K-Rock, which is in Los Angeles, a big market and a big radio station, the accounting is where you'd have to go to get your check from accounting. And accounting was all these Asian women, and the lead woman was named Cynthia. And ironically, she liked to go to the track and gamble. And it'd be Friday at like noon. And I would walk down the hall to go into accounting, and I would go, I got to get my check. Because I was kind of living paycheck to paycheck.
Of course, it's radio, of course.
I was getting $50 a bit, you know, and they owed me like $300 for 2 weeks or something. And I go, I got to get my check. And they'd go, well, Cynthia's at the track. I'd go, that does sound weird. It's Friday and it's working hours and she's at Santa Anita, And they'd go, yeah. And I'd go, well, I think my check's here. Trip Reeb the GM said my check's in accounting. So can I just get my check? Well, they're in Cynthia's desk. And I'd go, okay, can we open her drawer and get my check? No, she locks her drawer and she takes the key with her to the track. And I go, this seems like a really fucked up way to distribute checks, And then I'd go back into Trip Reeb's office. I'd go, I need my check. And he'd go, it's in Cynthia's drawer and she's at the track. And so they were like, yeah, so what are you going to do? I go, I guess I'm going home without a check. That was their policy. And then later on, because they were all Asian, I would say on the air that I was going to go down the Ho Chi Minh Trail to see if I could get a check this time. Oh, no. And then they all freaked out on me. They came down the fucking corridor and all started screaming at me. And I was like, fuck you, I want my check. You guys, why are you hiding my check? Give me my check.
My guy, he was trading out. Remember this?
Yeah.
They would trade out ads. So he's driving around in a fucking Cadillac in Rensselaer, Indiana. The rest, I'm making $120 a week take home. My rent is $475. So that doesn't math. I mean, do the math on that. So I'm already way losing. But I'm like, oh, you're paying your dues.
You got $5 more.
Exactly. But I was justifying, like, this is what it's going to take. So everything was credit cards and all that kind of stuff. But then you'd go to cash that check, and it would not clear because he has traded out so much. He doesn't have money coming in. But he's doing Cadillac ads.
Oh,
it's disgusting.
There was Kalis Act used to be on Wilshire in the Miracle Mile on like the third floor of a commercial office building. They didn't have carpet in that place for like 6 years. You could see where the old carpet was glued down and like pulled up or whatever. And every time I go in there to do a Tim Conway Jr. show, I just walk in. I go, "Where's the carpet? It's a business. You're running a business. There's carpet with glue on the floor." I go, "Where?" He go, "Look, they're trying to trade out this flooring place." I go, "Okay, at some point you have to buy your own carpet. Like that's how other businesses work. You don't get to trade." Everything
radio,
out.
It's all about trading out. And then one time I was we would cash the checks at the grocery store when they would clear. And one time after I'd been there a couple months, the girl goes, "Oh my God, you're Jim O'Heir from the radio?" Because it would play in the grocery store. And I was like, "Yeah, I am Jim O'Heir." And she goes, "Oh, I didn't think you'd look like that." You bitch! You bitch! I know I have a face for radio, but that was a dig.
Well, what about after the stage show? You're in LA, and were there big roles before Parks and Rec? Because we all know you from Parks and Rec now. It's such a great show and so iconic now. But what about before? Were there lean times?
Oh, God, definitely lean times. Yes and no. But that being said, I can tell you, I moved here August 4th, 1994. And for whatever miracle, I've never had to do anything other than be an actor to pay my bills.
Oh, wow.
Sometimes, just scraping by and some miracle check would come through from something that got reissued again or something. But I kind of worked a lot. Nick Offerman, who played Ron Swanson on Parks, we would always say we were these journeyman actors, always landing a gig, but nothing to skyrocket you, but enough to people would go, "You look familiar," which, for an actor is not a bad thing. It means you're out there enough. And then, the miracle of Parks happened, and now you're on people's televisions every week for 7 years, and that just changes. It changes everything.
You want to talk up the beginning of the song 18? Do you remember your call letters?
Oh, God. My call letters, WRIN, We had
probably
AM and FM.
You probably want to get the time in.
Good morning. No, are you ready for this? I can't believe I'm saying this because this is embarrassing. Now, remember, I'm young at the time, and I began my morning show like this. Now, really listen to what I'm about to say.
I'm listening.
Listen closely.
I'm listening.
Because in a way, I can get away with it, but I can't. Good morning. This is Jim O'Heir on the air in Rensselaer. It doesn't fucking rhyme.
It's all right.
But it felt close enough.
War rhymed mafia and CIA. So that doesn't rhyme either.
That's true. But that was my morning sign-on.
You want to try talking up 18?
Wait, what do you mean? Oh, good morning, everybody. Welcome to WLQI, WRIN. This is Jim O'Heir coming at you. You know I'm doing it right here live in Rensselaer.
What time is it?
What time? Oh, and it's 8 minutes after the hour.
Yeah, you got
It's a quarter away to the top of the hour.
Oh, you
got to do.
That was a lot of pressure.
You got to do all forms of what time it is. You have to go. It's 26. It's 8:26. That's 26 after the hour. That's 34 away from the top of the hour. You have to take it and deconstruct the clock.
Oh my God!
To give every possible
angle
version of what time it is.
Just so you know, I'm having PTSD right now because there was, you try to hit it and you knew people were listening.
Yes.
And the ass again, he was an asshole. I'm not going to say his name, but the guy who ran the station. And there was this thing on the wall. And when I look back now, I'm like, why did I think that was important? He goes, at any time, 12,000 people could be listening.
Right.
What? 12,000 people? But yeah, no, I'm getting a little sweaty.
Don't stress, bud.
I'll tell you. I remember when I took over for Stern on the West Coast, and it was radio and KLSX, and I remember very clearly me saying to the program director, the people around, I go, look, do you think we could get a big jar of peanut butter? Because sometimes 2 hours into my shift, I just want a spoon of peanut butter. Or sometimes guests come in and they're like, what? I'm like, some peanut butter. And then at some point, like 2 days later, I get a call from my agent who represents Jimmy Kimmel and Stephen Colbert and Jon Stewart, by the way. And he's like, just got a frantic call from Jack Silverman about peanut butter. He wants to know what the fuck's going on. He's not paying for peanut butter. And and my agent's like, what is she talking about? Like, he's used to going to the Daily Show or the Tonight Show or Colbert Kimmel with full Crafty,
Of
right?
course.
And he's like, this guy's making a fucking big deal over a jar of
peanut butter.
Peanut butter. Yeah, I was pissed. I was like, baby, this is radio. You don't understand. This is not TV.
Yeah.
This is different than that.
It is totally different.
And the one, I was thinking about this the other day too. The one suggestion he had for me, he goes, maybe we should start giving the timeout. And I said, well, we're on in a different time zones. And he was like, all right, gotcha. And he left the studio. I was like, wow, that was it. That's what you had for
that was his
suggestion.
revelation.
Yeah.
We had, when we would have games and people could win prizes. And I kid you not, the prize was a 6-pack of Pepsi, 6 cans of Pepsi. And people would drive 30 fucking miles to come and get it. And then if he hadn't traded out, he had no money, they'd show up and there would be no 6-pack of Pepsi for them to get.
Oh, man.
It was awful. But then again, I met some great people. I learned how the
Radio
business worked.
It's such a... Every part of radio is weird and impoverished. Like, remember the vending machine in radio? The vending machine in radio will have like 3 Post-its, like, dear vending machine guy, I attempted to order a Fresca on 10/21, and I got no Fresca, and only a quarter came out, and I put 75 cents. So it's like, really, you're making this manifesto about your fucking 50 cents on the stupid thing? The refrigerators all had stick at Post-its on angry. Somebody stole a pudding. It was their pudding. It was like, what year is this, and how poor are all you people, and what happened?
We were so poor.
I guess
we
that's
were
what happened.
So poor. And then I never really experimented with drugs or anything. And so in the weekend you had to do one shift on the FM station, but it was all reel to reel. So you really just hit buttons to make sure it did. And then at the top of the hour, hey, you're listening to da-da-da-da-da-da, and maybe do a weather report. Here it's going to be cold in Indiana, blah, blah, blah. And the one time I walk in, and this DJ, he hands me, he goes, listen, I brought you something. Okay. And it's this little tiny piece of tinfoil. I know nothing. Apparently it was some sort of, I don't know if that's acid.
Right.
What was on a piece of tinfoil?
Could be, yeah.
It could be. And then I realized this is what he does all day long, because he never worked on the AM side where he had to talk. He just kind of hit those buttons. And at the top of the hour, he did the time and he did the weather. I think he was stoned the whole time.
Yeah.
And as a scaredy cat, I didn't do it. I didn't do it. Sorry. No.
Yeah.
I'm scared.
Could have unlocked something in your head. Brett Solier would have never been the same.
It's probably not acid in the foil.
I don't know. It was a little tin
Come on,
thing.
bud. You're not giving me enough information. I'm the local drug expert. What was in there?
I don't know.
It was white powder?
It was a dot of something.
Oh, yeah. That sounds like acid to me.
I think everyone should do radio just to really learn what it's like to work. But again, it's like you're kind of in show business, but not really in show business. But people know who you are, but you don't really get paid.
Yes.
And it's a weird, cheap ass world. I remember showing up to K-Rock. K-Rock's one of the biggest stations in the world, and it's in Los Angeles. And it's in a big office building. It's not podunk,
It's not Rensselaer, Indiana.
We're over the coin-op laundry, on the top floor.
Yeah.
And I just walked in there, and I remember there's Kevin and Bean. Kevin and Bean are the jewel in the crown. The morning show's the jewel in the crown of the station. And I go, I said, Bean, where's your car? Because he had a situation with his car, and I said, I think I can fix it. Is it next to Kevin's, like down in the parking structure? And he goes, no, it's out on the street. And I go, you park out on the street? And he goes, yeah. I go, geez, you guys get here when it's dark and it's like a little dicey back there. People kind of know you're showing up at work at 5 a.m. It could be some stalker or something. He goes, yeah, I park on the street. I go, well, why don't you just park in the underground parking where it's safe? He goes, I don't want to pay. I go, but they don't give you a parking spot in the parking? You're the morning show. No, it's like $40 a month. I go, wow. The radio station wouldn't give you, the stars of the radio station, they bill millions of dollars. They wouldn't give you that? No. I'm like, Okay.
But, you know, people, when they think of radio, they think of a Stern type person who's making tons of money. Well, that is less than 0.5% of the people in radio who make that kind of money. It's just not the way it is. But again, I did love it in many ways, and I was ready to get the hell out of there.
Well, Jim, it's always great to catch up with you.
I love coming here. You know, first of all, your brain works different than most people, and it terrifies me. No, but you can take one word and just do these amazing. I don't even know what to say, what they are, but like so riveting. So yeah, I love it here.
It pulls a Carolla. Jim O'Hare, welcome to Pawnee. Stories of friendship, waffles, and parks and recreations available at Barnes & Noble, Amazon, and wherever you find finer books.
Definitely finer books, yes.
Actor, great legend, Tim Matheson is going to join us, and we'll talk to him right after this. Tommy John. Well, here's a simple life hack. Upgrade with Tommy John. You'll do everything much better because you'll be much more comfortable with Tommy John. Their Second Skin underwear has dozens of comfort innovations like a supportive contour pouch and horizontal quick draw fly, plus breathable, lightweight, moisture-wicking fabric with 4 times the stretch of competing brands. Over 20 million pairs sold. Hundreds, nay, thousands of 5-star reviews. Tommy John doesn't have customers, they have fanatics. I know, I'm a Tommy John fanatic. I'm wearing mine right now. I will not wear anything other than Tommy John. I don't have the heart to throw out some of the old underwear I had because I paid way too much. I guess I'll just use it for a car rag, do my rims or something. They have a guarantee. It's called the best pair you'll ever wear, or it's free. They're the best. They're Tommy John, right, Dawson?
Get 20% off your first order right now at TommyJohn.com/Adam. Save 20% on Second Skin at TommyJohn.com/Adam. TommyJohn.com/Adam. See site for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. They're in the business of keeping your car on the road. They offer friendly, helpful service and parts and knowledge that you need to maintain all the repairs and keep your car running smoothly. I've always been a fan of O'Reilly. I remember when I lived up in La Crescenta in my rented house with all my roommates, and I'd work on my Isuzu Trooper, and then later on my Toyota Supra. And I would go up to the O'Reilly up on Foothill. And that's where I got all my know-how and I got all my parts. They've got thousands of parts and accessories in stock, either in the store or online, so you're never in a jam. The team at O'Reilly Auto Parts can test your battery for free, and they'll do it in or out of your car, so you can bring it in or you don't have to pull it out of your car. They'll come out and do it in the parking lot. Need your windshield wipers replaced, brake light fix, quick service? They'll help you find the right part, or they'll point you to the nearest local repair shop for help. So whether you're a car aficionado or you're a novice, you get with O'Reilly Auto Parts. They're knowledgeable, they're helpful, and best of all, they are friendly, and you can do it online or you can go in. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts today or visit them at O'ReillyAuto.com/Adam. That's O'ReillyAuto.com/Adam.
It's time for Nicaraguan Name That Movie with Adam's buddy Oswaldo. See if you can guess which movie this famous line is from.
You are worthless and weak, not drunk and giving me 20.
If you said Animal House,
you're all worthless and weak. Drop and give me 20.
You're correct. Now, back to the show.
Tim Matheson has joined us. He's got a book out. Damn glad to meet you. My 7 decades in Hollywood.
I round it up,
Crap. Amazing. Tim's been in everything. I mean, I think probably, for sure, Animal House is where you may know him the best, but he's done everything. And I don't know. To be a part of something that's as iconic as Animal House, I guess that's a dream. Is that, to be in something that is ubiquitous, that everyone has seen, everyone loves, everyone knows.
It was a pivot point in comedy in American cinema, and it was like Ivan Reitman and John Landis and Doug Kenny and Harold Ramis and John Hughes. And it was like those guys all of a sudden, it was young people making comedies for young people. And it was like, otherwise it was like Rock Hudson and Doris Day, and it was like stuff like that. And this was one of the first that came along and did stuff like, this. And it was unique, and it was Lampoon, and it was R-rated. And so it was a kind of a change point.
Yeah, and they just had all these great lines, like freshman dies in kiln explosion. Like, was such a great...
Oh, man.
I don't know why, like the random stuff like that the most versus the big sort of everyone gets it joke.
I think that actually happened. The guy named Bob Anderson was the guy that my character, Eric Stratton, Russ Sherman, and Glad to Meet You, was based on, because Bob Anderson actually did go to a place and say he was, engaged to the dead girl, and use that as sort of a, can you maybe comfort me and get some dates from my friends,
Man.
I mean, and it was the sleaziest scene. It was the cheesiest thing the character would do, but I just loved playing that. I mean, it's just delicious to be such an asshole.
Did you know I always ask, did you know you were onto something while you were filming it, or is it just impossible to gauge?
It was the best script I'd seen. John Belushi's in it, and he was like the second coming walking across the college campus at Eugene, Oregon, where we shot this, the Ducks.
That's right.
And so there was that, and then every Monday morning after the crew would watch the dailies from the week before, because they weren't dailies, they were weeklies, and they'd come back quoting certain lines, like, hey, you fucked up, you trusted us, or whatever it was.
Right.
Fat, drunk, and stupid is no way to go through life. And, and just one thing after the other, so that we got it, well, this could just work, who knows?
I was hearing about you on the way, and I was talking to my assistant about it, and he said you were the original voice of Johnny Quest.
Yes, yeah.
And I thought, I loved Johnny Quest when I was a kid, and that's crazy. And Johnny Quest may have had the best theme song of any animated or even non-animated. Like, they used to have real theme songs. Like, people remember Hawaii Five-0 and Beretta and stuff like that. But the Johnny Quest theme song, I mean, we should just listen to a little. Listen to the arrangement. Listen to what's involved with this. Now it's starring Johnny Quest.
My name is nowhere to be mentioned.
Where is your name?
No, it's way at the end of the credits.
Oh, Dr. Quest, Race Bannon.
Like they're real.
Yeah. Now we only have Race Hustlers, but back then we had Race Bannon.
Oh, man.
Haji. That's a no-fly zone today. Bandits, the dog. Oh, my God. Oh, I sat in my little shit box in North Hollywood and watched the shit out of this, and I just went, one day, I'm going to be fighting with lasers.
Yeah.
How did you get that job? How old were you? Wait a minute, you were the first season or the original?
There's only one season.
There's only one season?
It was a primetime show, and the big hits were Flintstones and Jetsons, and they had no laugh track, and it was the first non-comedic animated show, and it cost a heck of a lot more than the other shows, because it was almost like, it's sort of like a very realistic.
So Johnny Quest was a primetime animated series, which they would do. Do you remember they had Wait Till Your Father Gets Home?
Yes, yeah.
Wait Till Your Father Gets Home was like Archie Bunker animated. In the 70s.
Damn.
And they would try this stuff. And so it was a serious primetime animated. That's why. So it's like the soundtrack has a 400-piece orchestra.
It's a real orchestra.
It's not the morning stuff, the cheap stuff where they're out of money or whatever. Oh, so when my assistant said the original voice of Johnny Quest, you just meant the voice of Johnny Quest, right?
Yeah.
I mean, because later on maybe they came out with something.
They did a remake of it at one point, I think in the 80s. And
right.
But I was,
How old were you?
I was 15 when I auditioned, 16 when I got it, I think. And I started out as a kid actor, teenage. I was on Leave It to Beaver and My Three Sons and stuff like that. I was, a couple of lines here, a couple of lines there. I'd do a guest shot. And
can we hear some Johnny talking? By the way, young Tim?
I don't. Well, I mean, I was like it sounded like a girl.
Well, would you screw around with your voice? Because you're playing like a 10-year-old when you're 16.
Well, it was sort of my voice, though. I mean, it's because it was just, hey, Haji, it was just, hey, race, look, get over here. I mean, it was excited and
little higher register. Though.
Yes, there you go, exactly. But and I think the kids were probably in bed, about that time, or they had to do their homework, and so. And it was just too much for the network to pay because it was like graphic novel. It was animated differently than the Flintstones. Oh, it was great.
Right.
But the Flintstones had the same background going around and around when somebody was running.
Right.
The same tree kept going by you, and it was cheap.
Right.
So they just after a year they couldn't.
What year was that? Sorry.
64, I think. Yeah, 64, I believe.
It's so funny. I used to say to Dr. Drew, which always made him laugh. When I couldn't, when I was trying to explain to him sometimes, like I'd go, this person's ethnicity, I didn't know what it was. Not black or Mexican or white, like something Asian-esque, but I don't know where. I'd always go, he'd go, well, what was this guy? I'd go, Johnny Quest villain nationality, which is like, they didn't know who we were fighting back then. Like, it was easy. And back then, you could make a guy German or Japanese. Like during World War II, the villain would have a German accent or whatever. This is like the mid-'60s. We're not really into Vietnam yet, but we're kind of done with Germans and Japanese. And so they would always go like, Mr. Quest. And I was like, where's that guy from?
Mongolia.
It was like Thailand and Mongolian or something. But if you cannot determine someone's ethnicity, just go to my default Johnny Quest villain nationality, and that's great. That'll cover it'll cover everything that's not black, white, Mexican, or Japanese. Even Japanese might slide in there a little.
Yeah, I think Dr. Zen, or there was, but it was indeterminate ethnicity certainly. That's very funny.
Little something Asian, but not quite, and it may have been. We would do it on Who Are We Fighting right now, and we're starting to slide into Vietnam probably. So we're like, that might be a little dusting of Vietnamese in the heavy.
Could have been. Yeah, could have been. And,
What projects did you have the most fun with?
Johnny Quest was great because I got to work with Mel Blanc and I got to work with Don Messick and they did all, he was Barney Rubble and in the Flintstones and Janet Waldo and I mean all these great voice actors who came out of radio and were good actors and could also create characters of a dog with a personality or 9 dogs with like Mel Blanc did all the Warner Brothers Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck and Tweety Bird and Sylvester. I mean, it was like you couldn't stop him, and it was like I had enough trouble just doing Johnny. It was hard for me to imagine these guys were such good actors. I mean, it was nuts, but. I got to work with Lucille Ball when I was 17, and in a movie called Yours, Mine, and Ours. I played,
that's right.
With Hank Fonda, and Henry Fonda was the father of, I think, 7 or 8 kids, and Lucy had 7 or 8 kids, and from her husband was gone, and his wife was gone, and then they got married and had another baby, and that was that. It was the Brady Bunch ripped them off.
So what was it like working with Lucille Ball?
She was great. She was very demanding. She was very tough. Mm-hmm. But she came up during vaudeville, I mean, where you do 3 to 5 shows a day. Yeah. And it's like, it's sort of the equivalent of, I guess, what stand-up is like now when you're on the road and you're just going from theater to theater and it's combat. I mean, I want to knock your show off. I want to say something, it's like full contact sports. It's like athletes constantly are at each other saying, boy, you're really not hitting that curveball today, are you? Because if I can get in your head, then maybe there's more room for me in the major leagues. And I think that was true back in vaudeville days and stuff like that. So, but she was tough. And when you came on the set, you had to be prepared. And because she's doing broad physical comedy and you really have to know what you're doing.
I agree. It bothers me when, because I come from a kind of sports background, and in sports background, someone just tells you, here's what you're doing, and now go do it. And if you don't do it, you get yelled at, And I've had it happen a million times. You have too, like on the set, where like the guy walks in and you go, the director goes, cut, you don't turn your back to the camera. Leave yourself open so we can see you, right? And they go, all right, let's try it again. And the person just walks out, does the exact same thing. It turns their back again. And I do want to say, hey, fuckwad, you were just told not to do that. Like, don't, and everyone's like, whoa, 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 whoa. And I'm always like, he told you to do something. We're all waiting on you. Do it. Or you don't know your lines, or you're not prepared with whatever. I'm with Lucy.
Yeah,
I'm like,
absolutely.
just fucking do your job.
She would never really say it to you. She'd go, she'd say to the director, tell him to speak up. I can't hear him.
Yeah. So she was tough.
She was really tough and demanded it. But I think I'd auditioned like 6-7 times for that. I had a couple of scenes that I did with her that were, I think one of the ones you just looked at with she and I was actually an emotional scene. It wasn't a comic scene. And she and I connected over those, but I think she just felt I was too sensitive because I was a shy kid, and it was like, holy shit, I'm working with Lucille Ball. I mean, it was like Santa Claus right there in front of it,
Yeah.
So, and what happened one time, I did Here's Lucy, which was an episode of a show that she did after Years, Money, and Hours. And I was dating her daughter, played by Lucy Arnaz, her real daughter. And we were backstage. She, Gail Gordon, who was a great comic actor, and myself were backstage with another actress who was a friend of Lucy's from vaudeville, who wasn't working that much, and Lucy gave her a job, and she had one line, and so she could make some money and keep her health insurance up. Probably she took care of her vaudeville friends, and we're all standing backstage. The show's going on out there, and Lucy, just before her friend goes out on stage, she goes, $20, she blows her line. And it was like, whoa, whoa. I was like, I was taken aback. The woman looks at Lucy, kind of winks, walks out on stage. You hear there's chatter, chatter, chatter. There's dialogue. This woman has her line. She gets a big laugh. And, more chatter, chatter, chatter. And the woman exits. The door opens. She walks backstage, walks over to Lucy and puts her hand out.
Wow.
But because I think what she was saying is it's like, say, break a leg. You don't say, hey, good luck. You just say, don't fuck it up.
Yeah.
And that was the tone. It's like pro athletes say. They never say anything nice to each other.
No. Yeah.
I had the president of the Marlins, Miami Marlins team, David Sampson's a buddy of mine, and he took me into the locker room to meet a kid at Dodger Stadium when they were playing the Dodgers a few years ago, and he said, this kid, we brought him up from the minor leagues. I said, hey, congratulations, you're in the bigs. Congratulations. He goes, hey, let me just straighten you out on something, David said. He said, if you're a lefty and you have a pulse, you're in the big leagues.
Wow.
And I thought, oh, Jesus, that's tough. But he said, I don't want that kid thinking about,
I know. Yeah.
It's just 35,000 people. I want him thinking about that fucking curveball that he's throwing, And I don't want to take his eye off the ball.
Yeah.
And that's sports. And I think Lucy was just saying, that's the showbiz.
I coach pro fighters, and a big part of it is keeping their ego down. Because if you juice the guy up so much and tell him he's the best, then he'll slack off a bit, and he'll think that he's got it all figured out. And I don't know, is this the mentality you take into the acting world, or?
Oh, I think you got to. I mean, because you're constantly getting turned down for you get 1 out of 10 jobs. You go, you have great days, you have lousy days, Because when I worked with Kurt Russell, we did a series in 1976 called The Quest, which was up against Charlie's Angels, so you can imagine how long our show was on the air.
What was that about?
It was a Western. It was sort of like The Searchers. My family had been assaulted by a tribe of Indians, and my parents were killed. He had been captured. Our sister had been captured and raised by the Indians, and I had gone back to medical school, and I got away. So I'm a doctor, and so I was searching for him, and we were reunited, and we went out looking after our sister. But Kurt was a semi-pro ball player, and that was the same attitude he had about acting. He said, just save it for the camera. Don't worry. I was studying acting, and I was in my head about acting pure, all this. And he was like, just take it easy, don't work so hard. And because then on camera, the stuff that they do get will be good. It'll be even better.
Sorry, do we have any Johnny Quest with Tim as requested, or were we not able to find that? Oh, we do. All right. I'll put it on the screen if you got it. Sorry. That's our
How did you learn
plan.
English, Haji? Same way I learned judo from American Marine. He tells me about your country. One day I see.
Is that why you followed us?
Sure. Johnny, look out there. The man who threw the knife.
Come on, let's take a closer look.
Okay, I follow you.
Can't just eat dinner, huh? Always solving
He's
crime.
in that room.
I wish I could see what he's doing.
You can. How good are you at climbing a rope?
Okay, I guess. Why?
What is the opposite of helicopter parent?
Gosh.
Because you just let your
Don't just
kids.
stand there, Johnny. Start climbing.
That stuff was
Ciao,
so
boy.
ubiquitous that I thought you could, like
There's
half
another
this
guy
stuff
in
would
there
work.
with him.
Idiot.
This is Johnny Quest villain.
Yes.
Dr. Quest, and you
Indiscriminate nationality.
saved his life, Master. I shall return to Borat. In the meantime,
Where's Barat?
They came from a made-up place, and nobody knew what their nationality was. But they
is
looked evil.
It is only a boy. What do you want?
2 rupees, my lord, and I will reveal the mysterious wonders of the East.
Get away from here, you little beggar. Go before I have my servants
Hope that
chase you
started
away.
with a B. All right, we got it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sounds just like me. I mean,
Yeah.
doesn't it? I mean, really, yeah, sure.
So, man, I mean, you were doing this. You were a child actor before that. Was your family? Did you have a stage mom and that kind of stuff? How'd you get into it so young?
I always wanted to be an actor. I don't know why. I mean, I'd go sit in the movies on the weekends. Well, my parents went through a divorce, so I would just go hide out in the movies when I was 7, 8, 9. And in the 6th grade, I was in a class that had a improv version of the Today Show. You know, and you'd be the host, and you'd be the guest, and I would be the farm boy from the farm.
Where was this?
This was in San Bernardino.
Oh, out here.
My mother. I grew up in the Valley, like yourself, I think.
Where at?
I was in Sherman Oaks, and then junior and senior high school in Burbank.
Burroughs?
Burroughs, yeah.
Oh, wow.
We played you guys.
Yeah.
You kicked our ass.
Well, North Hollywood was good. Then I got there, and then they weren't good.
I don't know. I don't
That's
know.
how it
I
worked.
mean,
but yeah, I went to North Hollywood at Burroughs and Grant High School
Sure.
was Van Nuys, Sherman Oaks, or whatever's where you would have went there. So you just grew up right here, right in the Valley.
I did, and then my mom had a tough year because my mother was 37 when she had me. So I'm like 12, so she's close to 50, and she was an executive secretary, and she got laid off again and again because she was close to 50, and they wanted a 28-year-old.
Right.
So it was sexist and all that. So, so she an ageist, and so she had a tough year and she took a bye year. She went off and she and her boyfriend just stayed drunk, I think, for a year. And me and my sister went up to San Bernardino and lived with my aunt and uncle.
Oh, where was Dad?
Up east, San Bernardino. I mean, it was.
Why didn't you stay with your dad?
Oh, my dad was in Arizona, and he didn't. They were separated, divorced.
So your dad wasn't in the picture,
no,
so to speak.
No. He was not. He took no responsibility for the family.
But your mom and your dad were together until you were how old?
7, 6, 7.
And then he just moved out.
Yeah.
And that was it.
Yeah.
And didn't try to circle back once the success,
No.
Once that Johnny Quest came out or nothing?
No, because he figured the job would end and I'd go into some real job. He never figured.
So he didn't send a, teddy bear during Christmas time or any of that?
No.
Just gone.
Yeah. I mean, I would see him. I'd see him in the summertime.
Oh, you would?
And he lived in Yuma. So I'd go visit him in the summertime in Yuma. That was a lot of fun, right? It's 119 degrees outside.
No central air, right?
And he...
What business was your dad in?
He ran this sports arena called Joe Hunt Sports Arena, and they had the ham and bun. It was some sandwich, and he ran the liquor store, and then and they had like wrestling night, and they'd have all sorts of roller derby.
You'd spend summers with him.
I'd spend 2 or 3 weeks with him in the summer.
Oh, so it wasn't like a total gone and never saw him again.
No, but he was, he was sort of. He didn't have a career path. He didn't really, he sort of did one job, and then he went to work for the Arizona liquor control board and moved to Phoenix.
It's weird. It's weird that people just had jobs.
Yeah.
You know, no one of my family had a career. They had a job.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I remember, I've told it before, but I kind of remember because it was a different mentality. Like my dad's best friend, Vince Bruno, he lived in an apartment his whole life.
Oh, God, yeah.
With his wife and his kid. And, you know, he was a nice guy and everything. Shared a car with his wife, and one car, two adults, you know what I mean? That was like, my dad's take on that was, yeah, why not? You know, what are you talking about? I'm like, 61, you live in an apartment, small apartment, you know, and you share a Nova, share a 71 Nova with your wife. Like, but lots of times where I go, well, tell Vince to come on. Pat's got the car. You know, you're an adult male. Like, you'd have your own car. And then, but before my dad died, I was trying, like I said, your best friend, Vince, like, yeah, he never really had a career, right? Like a job. He bartended at the Moose Lodge. I go, yeah, but God. I mean a job, you know, like a career, you know? And he goes, he had a job. He worked at the Moose Lodge, you know, they'd play pinochle and then he would bartend on Saturday nights. And I go, it's not a career, you know, it's not a real job, you know. Their mentality was, you got to work. And that's the way it was for their kids, too. It's like, go get a job. They didn't say, like, what do you want to do or what training do you need or certificate or, like, the word career never came up. It was just job.
Yeah.
And that's people just worked jobs back in the day.
And there was no shame to it. I mean, that was
that's
it.
what he did. Vince worked at the Moose Lodge. That's what he did. You know, he was a bartender at the Moose Lodge. Like, I'm like,
he was shooting for the Elks Club, but he took
got
the Moose
Lodge.
Yeah.
So Dad was not around, but at least a couple weeks out of the summer.
Yeah, and he, you know what, he did direct me in a certain direction as I started making money in acting. He would drive around. He'd come and visit, like you know, when I guess not at summertime, but he'd come another time and he'd spend a week here in the valley, you know. And he'd stay at a motel, and we'd drive around. He'd show me where he went to high school and junior high, and he said, you see that house over there? I could have bought that house in 1939 for like $800. And I went, gee. And we lived in a crummy apartment. My mother slept on the couch, and my sister and I shared a bedroom. And I mean, it was lower middle class. And it was like, I said, Jesus, you $800? And why didn't you buy it? And he said, I only made $40 a week, you know. Right. But he was a child of the Depression, as my mother was. But they reacted oppositely. He was like, he got beaten by the Depression, and it was coming back. Next week, next month, next year, it's going to happen again. And my mother was like, no. She bounced back. They got a house in Burbank when they moved here. I think I was 2 or 3, and he had a job at Lockheed. He taught pilots. He was a pilot, and he taught, you know.
Well, who's this? Your dad?
My dad. He was a pilot, and he left it behind. I don't know. You figure that one out.
Pilots don't normally. Pilot is like disciplined, trained, sober. That's not a ne'er-do-well dude.
No, none of those words were applied to his being a pilot. And I don't know why you'd walk away from that. But anyways, my mother bought the house without telling him.
In Burbank.
In Burbank, and said they rented it.
Yeah, Lockheed used to be in Burbank.
Yeah.
My stepdad worked for Lockheed.
Did he?
And we lived out here.
Yes.
And then they moved to like Lancaster or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was literally trying to do the math with Mike August on the road in Big Bear the other day. We're driving around. I go, my mom's house in North Hollywood was $10,000 when my grandparents bought it in 1951. $10,000. I said, what is the down payment for? You know what I mean? Like, let me go to the ashtray of my car. Like. Was it 10%? And the down payment wasn't always 20%. It used to be 10%.
It was 10%, sure.
So they had to rustle up $1,000 cash. And then I was saying to Mike, what was the mortgage? Was it like $111 a month? Like, or was it $89? Like, what? It's a $10,000 house. You put down $1,000 and you have to pay off $9,000, which was a lot for my family. But what is on a 40-year mortgage? You got to pay $9,000 if you pay $31 a month.
Yes, I mean, but that was the thing. My father he taught me. The minute I could, I bought a house.
Yeah, me too.
Did you? 29.5 on Costello Avenue in Van Nuys. 29.5, 2 in a den and a pool. Mm-hmm. And it was I had to put like $6,000. I put $6,000 down because I wanted a lower mortgage, and I said I put $6,000.
$30,000 house.
Yeah, and I put $6,000 down. That was a big deal. I put 20% down. It was like,
wow.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
And it was like, but I didn't know where the rent was. I mean, the money was coming from. I was between as an actor.
Yeah, but you went for it.
Absolutely. And every chance I got, once I started making money, I'd get a chunk of money. I'd say, buy another house.
Yeah, because that $30,000 house is 2.6 now, right? Like it's nuts.
Yeah, it's
crazy.
Yeah, it's and property goes up. I mean, it's
and you get to live in it.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm with you. I did the exact same thing. I mean, it was later than you. It was 350. It was right under the Hollywood sign.
Oh my God, how great!
Crazy.
That's great.
Yes. I heard in your book that you had slept with 4 women, changing gears, in one day. One of them was our beloved Kirstie Alley, who had been on this show more than once. I loved Kirstie Alley.
She's a pisser. She
was fun
great.
and a spectacular beauty.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
What? Clue us in a little here. 4 in one day is a lot.
It was totally unexpected. It was the day before my birthday, and these young ladies.
What year were we talking about here?
I must have been. It was probably let me think 80. It was probably 1981.
Mm-hmm.
I'm 30, 31, and a couple of ladies dropped by and said, "Hey, I can't make it for your birthday, but I just wanted to drop by and say happy birthday,
mm-hmm.
and like open the, and so we
open the robe.
Yeah, and open the robe. So
there's I guess as a woman, you always have a birthday gift.
Yeah,
and here it is. And if you're willing to go there,
right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then and like after a couple of ladies dropped by, it was early evening, and I just was like having a glass of wine and watching maybe the TV, and then Kirstie calls up, and who I knew, and she said, "How are these idiot people here? And I just want to, I'd be with somebody cool like you. Can I come over?" And I said, "Yeah."
Non-birthday related.
Yeah. I think she knew it was probably my birthday. My birthday is December 31st.
Is this pre-Cheers?
Oh, yeah. She had just arrived from, I think she'd done Hill Street Blues, but she had not done, she wasn't the star yet.
Mm-hmm.
So she came over, and one thing led to another, and we're up in bed, and I hear somebody coming up the stairs to my house. We never locked our doors in those days. And this is the point of this story. It wasn't just that there was 4 women, but my behavior was so reprehensible at that time because this girlfriend I had in New York walked in on us.
Number 4?
Number 4, and caught me, and then just turned and ran for the door. So I went after her, and I got her away from the house so that Kirstie could get out.
I always hear walked in on us, but does that walk in on you two smoking a cigarette in your refractory period, or walk in on you mid-coitus?
It's post-coital.
Post-coital,
chat, smoking a joint, or something, whatever, having a drink, but the thing about the house was there's only one exit. You could only down the stairs and out the front door. And if we had gone down and talked in the living room, Kirstie's never going to get out of here.
Right.
So this young woman, my New York girlfriend, I had a guest house. I said, "Come on over here. It's empty. Come on, I want to talk to you." And I apologized and tried to make up to her. And we were over there for like an hour and a half. I figured, no, I know Kirstie's gone. So then we're walking back, and it was one of those moments I go, I have to make love to this woman like I've never made love to her before, just to tell her and show her how.
Is this victim number 4?
Yeah.
Yes.
And it has to be better than anything I've done. And the point of it really was, it cost me that relationship. It destroyed that relationship. We sort of went along for a week, and then one thing led to another, and she just said, I can't trust you ever again. And
I know the feeling, bud.
She
busted, right?
She must have been an actress, right?
Yeah, she was. She was an actress. We don't mention names, but it was one of those things, and it was at the time in my mind, it was a really important relationship. I did damage to her, you know, and you know, and I learned a real lesson. You don't fuck around. You know, if you're committed to a woman, don't fuck around, because it cost me that relationship. Now, maybe it wasn't that great. My judgment at that point wasn't very good anyway. But it's hard to say. But I did a lot of damage, and it was not a wonderful thing.
It's hard when you're young to say no, especially
knocking on your door.
Yes, if you grew up.
Hey, I didn't call her. She dropped by.
Yeah, I know.
You know,
I'm telling you, there's a difference. You know, there is. It's the difference between most people aren't thieves and they're not criminals. And most people, when they find a wallet, would look up the ID and try to get it back to the rightful owner. That's one thing. This is finding cash.
Yeah, I know.
The same person would pocket the cash. You know what I mean? Now, it doesn't make you a thief, but you're taking money. But cash.
I like the way you put it.
It's a little bit. You're not dealing with this nefarious a person.
I like the way you think.
Yeah, you going out shopping for prostitutes is one thing. That Kirstie Alley coming to your door at age 27. That's a different. That's a cash find. That's a cash grab.
And you know, and Kirstie was fun, and
oh yeah,
you know when she was, I think she was from
stunningly beautiful.
Oh my
too.
God, yeah.
Oh
I mean,
my
she was
God.
from Kansas, I think Kansas or somewhere like that. And
why weren't you her boyfriend?
We just didn't. You know, it was one timing, and because I had a girlfriend at this time, you know, and I think I sort of gone out with her before I had this girlfriend, and she might have had a boyfriend. It was always the timing was a little bit off, but she was a pisser. She was so much fun, and what a great woman, you know, and a wonderful actor.
Yeah, great talent, great beauty.
Yeah,
insightful, deep, and interesting. You know, toward the end, spoke her mind. You know, had interviewed her a time or two on the show. Was like delighted to talk to her.
Yeah.
And I just really, and also it's sad because she would be really happy about what's going on right now politically. I'm not saying she was big MAGA. I'm just saying I think she would like this sort of turning the apple cart over and just disruption and Elon Musk and, you know, Kennedy Jr. and everything. She would really love
shaking things up,
this moment. Yeah. So sad, but at least you got to be with her, which is quite a feather in your cap, my friend. I love that woman. God, yes.
She was one of a kind.
Yeah.
Definitely
I think
one of a kind.
that's how I would describe her. So for you, I forgot you grew up out here.
Yeah.
And I forgot your mom saying I'm going to take a year off and drink with my boyfriend is what we would call trauma today. And then having to go live in San Bernardino with uncle and aunt. That's pretty traumatic shit for, I don't know how old you were.
I was, you know, what is sixth grade? I must have been 10, 11, maybe.
That's a big deal. I mean, back then, people had jobs and abuse wasn't abuse. It was just fucking life, you know, and you just dealt with it. Like, you know, there should be a bumper sticker. It's called, like, everything sucks and then you die. Was that the bumper sticker? Was it everything sucks and then you die? Somebody can find it, but that was more, you know, that was a rally call for the Carollas. Like, that's how it worked. It sucks. Your boss is an asshole. Fucking the government sucks. Everything sucks. And then you die. That's how it was. So it's like, this shit was all just part of how a shitty life worked. And you kind of rolled with it back then.
You know, it was interesting because I think
life sucks, then you die. That was the
That's
I
it,
was
yes.
on every third car in my neighborhood. Yeah. Like I was 10. I'd be like, you are correct. That is true.
I was probably more traumatized by the divorce than I was by anything else. And I was in the fifth grade when my parents were, they were, you know, he'd been gone 2 years now, I think, or 2 or 3 years.
Dad.
dad, and I turned into like a raging. I had this anger, and if somebody on my kickball team screwed up, I would just berate them.
Full Lucille Ball.
I'd go full Lucy on them, you know.
Full Lucy.
and I hated being like that because I was losing friends, and it was like it was this uncontrollable anger. And the good news about going away to San Bernardino was I didn't have to be that guy anymore. And I just said, you know what? I'm such a relief here. I don't have to be that guy. So I tried this, comedy improv class thing. We did the Today Show, and I liked it. And Linda.
So it saved you.
It did. It was.
And San Bernardino is not in another state, but back then, the way cars were, you were there. When you were in San Bernardino, you were in San Bernardino. You weren't going back and forth to Van Nuys or anything.
Oh, no.
My fucking mom's VW Square back when not capable of getting to San Bernardino. So if you were there, you were just there.
Yeah.
The book, Damn Glad to Meet You, My 7 Decades in Hollywood, is out. It's available at Barnes & Noble, Amazon, and wherever you find finer books.
Yeah, go to your bookstore.
Go to your bookstore and
help.
support them.
That's right.
Tim, where else for you? Instagram?
Yeah, I'm on
Tim
Instagram
Matheson
and from Facebook, and I'm in this show called Virgin River, which is on Netflix. And
right.
It's this amazing hit that on Netflix. They love us, and it's drawn a very. It's a female audience, but it's it's a love story, and it's we're in our 6th season, drops December 19th, and then we've been picked up for 7.
Wow!
It's like the longest running show on Netflix.
Yeah, it's always 3's the max.
3 and out.
Three and out. Right. Well, congrats.
Thank you.
Come back anytime.
I'd love to. I will. Absolutely.
Talk about my grandparents' house, paying $9,000 for it in 1951. Jim O'Hare as well. Welcome to Pawnee's, the name of the book. What do you got, Mayhem? Anything
Mayhem.
for you?
SamuelManuka.com/Mayhem. Thanks for buying that honey.
Good honey. I'm going to be at Levity Live in Oxnard doing stand-up. That'll be November 29th. Coming up, you just go to AdamCarolla.com for all the live shows. Till next time, this is Adam for Mayhem and Jim and Tim saying,
hey,
mahalo.